This is a KISS original on 101.9 KISS FM. The geekdom is spreading. It is present at almost every turn. And it's only a matter of time before it comes for you.
Nothing in our solar system can help us.
Let the Geek Patrol be your guide as you delve into the worlds of science, gaming, and pop culture. This is Geek Tank Radio.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. This season of Geek Tank Radio is brought to you by Godzilla Tabasco sauce. Tastes like fire going in, burns even hotter going out. Light up your night with Godzilla Tabasco sauce.
So, Brody, have you ever lit a fart and it be blue?
I'm going to be honest with you.
Blue flames.
That was the most interesting my toilet has ever looked in my life.
Hey, it flushes everything out.
It glowed. It glowed like this weird blue.
Yeah.
I flushed it down. My pipes went.
Whoa.
Forget that root killer stuff
So that's
down the
what
drain.
was going
Alan.
on in New York that time. They were testing the Tabasco sauce.
Well, that's where the factory is. Brandon, you put two and two together rather quickly. Well done.
You know,
but
this thing's not just for growing hair, Joe.
Hey, don't look at me that way. Anyway, welcome to Geek Tank, everybody. Yeah, I thought this would complement our robotic beef from last week.
Absolutely.
We need something to clean that out.
Oh yeah, but anyway, hey, and our buddy Wayne Wayne, I was a little disappointed. I booked this sponsor in your honor. But,
I'm broken, Joe.
Okay,
I'm broken. I'm going back to the bunker and going back to bed.
It's probably a smart move. But anyway, yeah, Wayne's going to weigh in. We've got some CineMasoCast discussion, and he's going to chime in on some of the things. It's another one of these deals where everybody's dropping by. We got Mr. Robert dropping by. We got our buddy Kristen Ross from Graceland coming in. And we're going
to
be
talk to one of your heroes later, sort of, but we're not going to tell you.
Well, he's filling the shoes of one of my heroes. So this guy's got.
So he's a legacy hero.
Yeah, Connor McGriffin, who's playing Tom Servo at the MST 3K Live that's touring, and it's coming right through Memphis in about 2 weeks. So. And, man, we got our NetFix. Whenever Allie rolls in here, we're going to start talking to her.
Which, by the way, I have a bone to pick with Allie and Andy both.
Yeah.
From last season's Science.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we want this? I want to wear, like, a Band-Aid that gives me, like, superhuman powers.
See, this is the problem. We walk out of the room, and the millennials get scared of the new technology.
What? I'm a millennial. I want that. Put Band-Aids all over me. I don't care.
I don't understand how the kids are scared of the new stuff.
Stupid.
All right, I will throw in one other throwback.
Yeah.
When you told Allie to get with the times, Mr. Joe.
Yeah.
And suddenly Brandon goes, the Luddite is telling the millennials to get with the times.
Oh, yeah. All reality.
I'm just glad she didn't look over and say, okay, boomer. You know, it's like, yeah.
All realities become inverted here on Geek Tank Radio.
The Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is turning 10 and celebrating in a big way. We're starting Friday, November 15th, back in East Memphis at Memphis Marriott East. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention 2019, November 15th through 17th. Check out the stars, Janelle Stevens from Black Panther and Luke Cage. Our Friday night concert, headlined by Kaza, cosplay contests, live cartoons, comic book artists, authors, and one-of-a-kind collectibles you can't find anywhere in the galaxy. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, November 15th through 17th at Memphis Marriott East. Get your 3-day passes or single-day tickets now at MCFC.com.
No matter what nefarious plan he has cooked up, Alan always keeps it educational. Get banished to Professor Gilbreth's Science Corner.
Hey, Brody, you've seen facial reconstruction, right?
Yeah, I love this technology.
It is the most amazing thing, right? Yes. They take, like, a skull, and they start layering on and come up and figure out what
someone looked like.
What you should have looked like.
Right.
All right, well,
this is great for, like, forensics, for, like, missing persons.
Well, digging up those
like
Egyptian pharaohs and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can run down the list.
Well, it makes them real.
Right.
Suddenly you're looking into the face of literally history.
Right.
Or a missing person.
Yep.
Or you get more of a story.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go to good old Solar Norway.
Oh, yes.
That's
Solar
what it's
Norway.
called, Solar Norway?
Yeah, let's go to Solar Norway, where in a Viking graveyard, they're doing, again, we're doing the forensics, we're doing the archaeology, and they discovered a female skeleton.
Okay.
Yep.
But the thing, it's not the first female skeleton they found, obviously.
And they know it's female because of the hips, right?
Correct.
I mean, that's the only way you know is the pelvis.
Yeah.
Right. And, well...
And the shoulders, I think, but yeah.
No, it's all pelvis. It's all pelvis.
This person was pretty muscular.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, this person
Amazon
had good muscular connections. You know,
she had good bones.
Your stock, Joe. Those Vikings.
Well, that's my people.
Your peoples.
She had them good bones.
Okay.
And so they decided to take a deeper dive into kind of her and rebuild her story. And her skull, the skull they found was damaged.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
So they got to looking at it, and then it was kind of weird that she was buried with basically a cache of weapons.
Oh, she was.
So this was. I mean, this is.
this.
You're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is getting kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So they started doing facial reconstruction on her, complete with the sword wound in her forehead.
Jeez.
Ooh.
You know,
no, she looks like she would do some damage.
You know, basically, it's kind of like, all right, here we've always suspected in Viking culture that it was very equal among the sexes, as equal as we could get.
Yeah, I mean, if you could wield a sword, shield,
if you were big and bad
axe.
enough to whack somebody with something, you were big and bad enough to whack somebody.
Well, when your village is getting raided, everybody's got to jump in and help.
Right.
So.
Well, apparently she was like in charge of stuff. So she was, this is just wow. And of course, they did a facial reconstruction on her. And I mean, if you take away the wound on the forehead, you would be walking by her at any gymnastics competition or.
I mean, she's pretty.
She's,
Are we talking about the reconstruction of Alan's mom?
I don't know.
Viking badass.
Yeah,
Well,
from 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
She looks like she could kick your butt.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I would not want to walk up to her and go, "You're pretty." She'd probably punch you in the skull.
Hey, Alan, is the clue that she was surrounded by all the weapons as a sign of honor that she was in charge? Is that kind of the idea?
Well, that's part of the Viking burial. Like one of the Viking burial rituals was to lay down your arms. Because we follow you even to the grave.
But she had a bunch of weapons, so does that?
She was
is that her
apparently, apparently good at a variety of ways of damaging you.
Huh? Yeah. She didn't have a helmet on, obviously that day.
And
though.
of course, they've stopped short of saying she died of a sword whack to the head, but
based on that picture, it looks like she could have taken a spear to the forehead. The way it looks.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
it's
you never know.
it's a pretty good. I mean, when you look at this, and especially when you see the picture of the skull itself, it's a
sizable.
This was not an accident,
right?
Yeah, you didn't actually trip and bump your head. This was battle.
Yeah.
Wow,
this was battle. This kind of brought up the whole. Were women warriors? Were women equal to the men? Were women out there fighting?
Hell yeah, they were. Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, and of course, if you look at the depth of her face, she's muscular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this was not a wilting flower.
No, man, she held her own.
She would.
I've dated a few of these.
So
but those got to be hardy people, man. It's freezing cold out there. You're constantly being, you're constantly fighting. They're all,
you run into some of these dancers and stuff like that, and no, man, I wouldn't want to pick a fight with them to save my life.
No.
Well, I mean, when you've got legs that can,
crush you like a walnut.
Yeah, you don't mess with people.
No, man.
Alan, I do have a question though about this reconstruction computer technology. So how do they know how accurate they are? I mean, it seems like the way to test this would be.
Well, we know this. We know this for a fact, Joe, because when they were trying to find some of the victims from a serial killer, they did some of this reconstruction because they found the bones.
That's what I was wondering.
Of some of the victims. Okay, and they actually, this is in the early days of this.
You're going back about 30 years.
This is like early or late 80s.
John Gacy or something like.
And well, it was another one of those prolific serial killers, and they reconstructed the woman's face, right?
Right.
And they put it on the news. Well, it wasn't 2 days later that they had a mass amount of phone calls going, I know that girl.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So you'd have to have somebody that's modern that has at least photographs that you could.
Well, they didn't know who they were putting two and two together with.
Yeah.
And what they did was they just reconstructed basically a face based on the key points of the skull. It's really interesting
Pretty
the way they do.
fascinating.
Yeah.
No, if you've ever watched somebody do this, it's a combination of science and art.
Yeah.
They'll take, and especially now with 3D printing, they'll do a three-dimensional scan of the skull. They'll reproduce the skull in basically to be a sculpting medium base.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go in, and now they'll look at where the muscles were connected, look at how prominent that is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you, like me and you, we work construction.
Yeah.
You look at some of our muscle connections on our bones, and those bones are they're going to show that we swung a hammer a lot of times.
Oh, good. So when they dig me up, they'll say this guy wasn't lazy.
Joe,
they're going to find that you fell a bunch of times.
Okay.
But
the only reason you're going to get dug up is wherever you're buried, someone feels the need to put another body in there.
There you go.
So they go back.
It happens more than you think.
More than you know.
Then they go in and begin replicating in clay the muscle features.
Yeah.
Layer by layer, they build you back up. And as you watch this, and there's several videos on YouTube, and there's several really good specials out there.
Yeah.
Watching people do this, and it is so amazingly fascinating. And then they take, especially in archaeological things, they take their best guess at skin texture, hairstyle.
They base that on where you're from.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is, and they don't know genetics at that point. What they do is they just play into the fact that we found this bone here. We're going to assume it was native, so here's what native skin tone looks like. Right. Here's what native features would.
And being, of course, in Solar Norway, we can assume safely we're pretty much good Viking stock here. So
yeah, probably a pale complexion, looking at more like a brunette,
blondish hair.
She
might have been a redhead. The feisty
might have been the redhead.
Could have been a redhead.
Yeah.
I guarantee she was fast too.
No, why did you say that?
You knew.
There's something about the warrior, woman, especially back in those days. They want to seem like they're like these barbarian women, right? Wielding a double-edged axe. You think back to any of those tropish kind of things, right?
Right.
No, I bet she ran out of the boat. Off the front of the boat, right, with the sword, like a medium-sized sword, and just stabby the whole way through.
That's why she took the first
that's what
shot
I'm saying.
in her head. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, and that's the
she
only
wasn't
reason.
behind the lines. She was up there.
She was
fighting.
front line.
Yeah.
She was doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And they're not disagreeing with you.
No.
They're looking at this going, well, women could get overpowered. And I went, being in the martial arts, I will tell you, I have been in the ring, training situation with women.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, they're a whole lot scarier than most of the guys.
Yeah.
Because they will do what they got to do.
I've seen childbirth twice,
themselves.
and they are way more powerful.
They got a better threshold for pain than men do.
I've seen a woman put Wayne's face into the mat.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can show you the YouTube video.
Well, I was looking at Wayne. I was going, you're with the wrestling camp.
Right.
Of those women that do the wrestling, man, they are serious athletes.
Women are scary. Women are scary.
Oh yeah.
How was it fighting Pop that time? Just getting it out there now.
It wasn't a fight. It was her kicking me in the gut and then ramming my face into the mat.
Do we have video of that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I've
there you go, Brody.
I've watched it in
YouTube.
slow motion. It's amazing.
Hey, Alan, do they have a guess how old she might be?
She was
22.
Well, based on I was wondering, Alan, can they look at the bones and how worn down they are, like your hip, and say, well, she's young or she's older?
Wow,
or whatever.
no, that took an Allen's hip and go, wow, he was 4.
Yeah.
Count the rings. Oh my gosh, she's old. But, you have what's called the arthritic factor. Mm-hmm. Basically, all human beings have arthritis of some level. So you have the growth plates, then you have the wear down between the joints, and of course, the more physical you are your whole life, the bigger the buildup where the tendons and stuff attached. So, yes, a skeleton can tell you a remarkable amount of stuff about a person.
Man, this would be a cool time to be an archaeologist and a space scientist with all this technology we've got. I don't even have any input for how Putin's going to weaponize this. I think this is a cool story, Alan. I mean, honestly, way to go, man.
Coming come on, Joe.
Did they give her a name?
You know that Putin's going to, clone a bunch of Vikings so that he can take over the country?
Well, he might. But do they have a name for her? Because I want to
through elections?
The articles
her
I have read who do not give this this lovely lady a name, but
she's a Valkyrie.
Man, I will just flat tell you.
So we're going to name her Tessa?
Yeah, she's...
No, I don't want to name her Tessa. I want to name... What's the lead Valkyrie's name? Starts with an H.
Who cares about all their names? It's like, we'll go with Tessa because she plays Valkyrie. We're geeks, man. We're going Marvel.
So you're not going Jane Foster on this. So.
No, because she's
not that way, Brandon. That's a cool story, though, Alan.
How many of you creepy white boys just got triggered by that?
There we go. Yeah.
Geek Tank Radio energized by
Dark Oak Press and Media, an indie publisher and media provider offering everything from Alice in Memphis to mystery to young adult and everything in between. Get the latest at darkoakpress.com.
More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank. Gadgets,
gizmos,
games.
Oh my.
These guys got their hands on it in the tank. Geek Tank Radio is on.
So we're having a great mystery solved today in the world of gaming.
Oh?
Yeah.
That Hideo Kojima actually puts out a game?
Yes, that Hideo Kojima actually puts out a game. Death Stranding comes out today.
Early this morning.
Yeah, early this morning. So we finally get to find out what the heck this game is.
So wait. Okay, so I'm going to go out there. I watched somebody actually play it.
Yeah.
Finally, okay, because I haven't unboxed mine. And I was like, well, let's just see what we're going to get into. Guys, we're not even going to play anything for 45 minutes. It's all a movie.
45-minute opening cinematics. Well, okay, all right.
That's not a game, Andy.
When you pay for...
I'm into it.
When you pay for Mads Mikkelsen and
Norman Reedus. We get to watch Norman Reedus give us an expose on what? Who knows? Because we still don't freaking know.
Yeah, because we still know nothing about what this game is actually
It's an experience. It's more than a game. It's going to be a whole experience. And I think that's nice. When you're
I'm
spending
$60
on something, I'd like a little more than just a game sometimes.
Well, I'm kind of into it in the sense of I'm interested to see what it's about. Am I down to spend my money on it yet?
No. I can't even get involved. I can't even get invested in it because I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to watch some gameplay before I decide whether or not to spend
that's
money.
fair, but I have friends who pre-ordered it and were having it downloading at 11 p.m. Central Time last night because they just trust him so much. They just know that no matter what, they're going to like it.
That's how he managed to Guillermo del Toro's in it. Conan O'Brien is in it.
Conan O'Brien's in it because he forced his way in because of the little geek segment that he has on his TV show.
Clueless Gamer.
Clueless Gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. Conan O'Brien is in the game. Does that give me hope that it's going to be good?
Hideo Kojima himself is probably in the game. He inserted himself into Metal Gear Solid 5.
I know. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about this quote unquote game.
I'm on the fence about it as to whether or not it will be an enjoyable game and worth $60 to me. But I do think that most likely the story is probably going to be awesome because Kojima always writes really good stories.
Except for the one time that he doesn't, and this could be it. I don't know.
I don't think
know,
so.
man.
I don't have faith. I don't have faith because I don't know what it is.
I mean,
what are you putting your faith in? Him or the story?
No, everybody's
Him,
putting their
the game
faith
design?
in him. They're all like, Hideo Kojima made it, I'm going to spend money.
Right.
When I'm going...
You got to trust Kojima with your heart.
Why?
Why not?
All the Metal Gears weren't that great. They were good.
No, I agree with him. I'm not super into... I know Kojima is a good producer and a good director, and a good writer, but I'm not so hung up on his name that I'm willing to spend $60 on the product.
Not yet.
Not yet. I got to see if there's actual good gameplay involved too, and so more than just a good story.
And reviews coming in from somebody who's been paid.
Not been paid.
That's what I'm saying. People who have not been paid, I want their review because
you said reviews from coming in from people who have been paid.
I was like, that's not what I meant.
I was like, Brody, that's going to be bad. This is not going to be the reviews you want.
I want to get paid for a review, so maybe that's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense.
Anyway, speaking of paid for a review.
All right. So is this a game that I'm going to play on RPG? Not right now.
Okay. That's cool. how about a game that I don't think is going to take much poking and prodding, playing a review, and this is coming out of BlizzCon, and that is
Diablo 4.
But I've heard that it's not even. It's not coming. It's coming soon, but like not even.
No,
Blizzard soon, which means like it's gonna be a long time.
Literally,
probably
all
like
they
2050.
Yeah. Literally, all they gave us was a really cool cinematic.
Yeah.
But Blizzard's really good at that. They're really, really good at making great cinematics.
Warcraft. Warcraft.
Yes. So BlizzCon was last weekend, and we were all expecting like, oh, there's going to be like news.
News?
No, not really. Like everything that they announced, we already knew that they were going to announce.
Yeah.
Like they announced the new expansion for World of Warcraft. We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
They had a really cool cinematic for it. We knew that was coming too. Overwatch 2 got leaked entirely before BlizzCon happened.
Yeah, I think there wasn't anything new out of that.
They even, like, when they did the panel for it, like, the game director came out and was like, man, I've completely forgotten what I'm supposed to say right now, but thankfully, and he pulls out his phone and he goes, thankfully, thanks to the internet, I know everything that I'm supposed to tell you about.
That's pretty funny. I like how they played that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, and then he goes, if you want to know how game developers feel about leaks, the World of Warcraft team made a cinematic called Shadowlands, and in the cinematic, Sylvanas like rips apart the helmet of the Lich King, and he goes, now watch that cinematic, and then imagine that I'm Sylvanas and my phone is the helmet. That's how we feel about leaks.
Yeah,
why do they feel bad about it though? Like, okay, I understand that you want to be the first to, reveal your stuff. But once it gets leaked and then shared multiple times, that's got to make you, on some level, feel really good about your product because you're like, wow, we did something great.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, on the one hand, I agree with you where they would be like, yeah, like people are interested in the stuff that we're going to put out. And then on the other hand, it's like, we worked really, really hard on this and we spent a lot of time doing it.
We're going to have a cool reveal and somebody
else is getting all the credit for
putting it out there.
For announcing it to the world.
I guess it would be like wrapping a Christmas present and then your kid ripping open the Christmas present and already playing with it, and you're like, I wanted to be here for that.
Yeah, well, okay, like we're both parents. Like when we buy Christmas presents for our kids, like if our kids were to find the Christmas presents where we hid them, and start playing with them before Christmas,
right?
Does that?
I did that.
Are you happy about that or not? Like, I'm not.
I did that. I did that as a kid.
No, I did that as a kid too. But when you're a kid,
at
it's
every
different.
present, but I acted super surprised on Christmas morning.
Like, wow, look, Pokemon! I didn't even know.
That's
like,
basically exactly what happened at BlizzCon. Like everybody knew what the announcements were going to be, but they're all like, "Yeah, that looks great.
Wow.
We already knew you were going to say that, but cool."
I've already picked this apart twice, but neato.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the Diablo 4 announcement was probably the biggest one at BlizzCon. I mean, it does look. From what they showed us,
it seems cool. My boyfriend's
like a really
real
cool
pumped about it. He said he's going to take lots of time off work.
But everybody said the same thing for Diablo 3, and we all know how that went. So,
he loves Diablo 3. So,
no, he loves Diablo 3 now. Diablo 3 at launch was not.
I know he took a week off work and played it for an entire week.
What?
It was garbage when it first launched.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When it first launched, it was not the same game.
It may have been
in a gaming segment of Geek Tank.
Hey now!
I was like, maybe it was bad, but he still took an entire week off work
Someone
and
get
played
me
it
out
that
of this
entire
wall.
week. Like,
I'm really excited about Lilith. I think she looks like an awesome villain. I love that intro cinematic and like introducing her, and she has like the cape of blood and stuff. Like,
although
tasty.
we are T-minus 1 week away from
I'm so excited.
The potential Game of the Year contender.
Yes, I have been hearing reports for Game of the Year contender for Jedi Fallen Order.
I mean, that gives me hope, young Padawan.
I think this will be the first game I spend money on since I bought Last Guardian.
My pre-order is in. Which the only reason I really did the pre-order was because they gave me a free ticket to episode 9.
Hey, listen, I mean, anything to get the money. Although it is from the evil empire that is the dark side, EA.
Yes.
So, I mean...
But from what we're hearing from reports about this game, it plays like Dark Souls.
Woo.
A Star Wars game that plays like Dark Souls.
I am pumped. It's going to be hard. I'm going to...
Talk more dirty.
screams
yes,
so many.
and it has Zelda-style temples with puzzles and stuff.
Talk dirty to me, you nasty little Sith Lord, you.
Come on, man.
Be coated in Cheeto dust.
Yeah.
Just be like,
customizable lightsaber parts and stuff.
Ooh.
Oh.
What's our safe word?
Oh, I can't wait. I can't
there
wait.
is no safe word in Star Wars, baby.
So we will have a review of that, needless to say.
We're not. No.
Can't wait.
We're not just having a review of that one, my friend. That one is going to be a launch title that we are playing on Ready Player Geek on Twitch.
Nice.
That's starting day one.
So you can go to the Twitch channel. We are at Ready Player Geek.
It is twitch.tv/Ready Player Geek. And you can also, we're on YouTube as well at youtube.com/Ready Player Geek. You can send us an email. It's readyplayergeek@gmail.com. That's all of our gaming stuff. We're also on all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Ready Player Geek. So that's all my shameless plugging.
And maybe you can give us a safe word.
I don't need it.
I need a safe word.
Wrap it up. That's your safe word.
Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool.
Oh, no, we're going home. No.
We've talked about them.
We've played them.
And now we'll show you.
The all-new Twitch channel from Geek Tank Radio is here.
Go Ready Player Geek,
where we unpack and dive into single-player story-driven games, to fighters, to multiplayer shooters, to tabletop and card games, and everything in between.
And stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ready Player Geek.
Check us out now at twitch.tv/ReadyPlayerGeek.
Streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8 Central.
While you're looking up at the stars, we've got them in the tank.
Right here.
Geek Tank Radio is on.
Okay, guys, so coming up November 23rd at the Orpheum in Memphis is the Great Cheesy Movie Circus Tour, Brody. Yeah! MST 3K Live. And, you know, I already got my tickets, so, I mean, I can't wait to get there. Yeah. So, yeah, and, hey, but we've got one of the characters, and he's Connor McGriffin. He's playing Tom Servo. Yeah! Hey, Connor, welcome to Geek Tank, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah, you won't be thanking us in a few minutes. I always...
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
Hey, Connor, real quick. So you're playing Tom... So this is... Okay, so for people that don't know, you guys are basically going on a farewell tour with Joel Hodgkins, right? And
Joel Hodgson, yeah.
Yeah, and so... But, you know, so you're basically going to do... I don't know how this is going to work, honestly. I can't wait to see it. But you're playing Tom Servo, and that's some big shoes to fill, man. You must be a brave man.
Oh, my God. You couldn't be more right. These shoes, as far as I'm concerned, these are shoes from 15, and I'm almost a 9.5. But
okay.
I grew up with the show, and honestly, part of my humor was shaped by Tom Servo, the way he's like, you know, erudite and pretentious, but also super emotional.
Yeah.
It pretty much informed who I was going to be when I was when I was growing up, and so getting the chance to fill into those boots, or rather the hover skirt, was just like, all right, here I go. This is everything I know, and then I was lucky enough to get added into it. So I'm standing on the shoulders of giants when it comes to P. Elvis Weinstein and Kevin Murphy and Baron Vaughn, but I've felt nothing but welcomed, and
oh, good, yeah.
Coming to work every day has just been so much fun.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine. Well, Connor, hey, before we get into exactly what's going to happen here with the live show, it sounds like you've been sort of preparing for this your whole life, right? I've been reading up a little bit and said you wanted to be an actor ever since you were like 8 years old, right? And in fact, it sounds like your parents kind of pushed you out of your comfort zone to make this happen. Is that right?
Well, I would actually say I pushed my parents out of their comfort zone. It was more like, Mom and Dad, I really want to do this. And they said, are you sure? And I was like, yes. And
okay.
Said, okay, well, let's do it. And I grew up in Delaware, where luckily the whole state is about 2.5 hours long. Yeah. And so if there was ever like any acting classes that had to be taken out of town, it was within our power to drive to it. And so I would be like, I want to audition for this. And then they would say, okay. I wouldn't say that I grew up with stage parents, rather that my parents grew up with a stage kid who was very desperate to act wherever he could. And so I would go up to Wilmington, Delaware to do Delaware Theater Company classes, and then head down to Rehoboth Beach to do Clear Space Theater productions, whether that's acting or doing shows down there. And then I would, they did push me to learn how to dance. And as a 10-year-old kid in the early 2000s, I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And then I watched Billy Elliot and was like, okay, I can do it.
Oh, it's actually cool. Yeah.
I'd like to do that very much, please. Yes, yes, yes. I would very much enjoy that.
Okay.
So yeah, I was always been a very, I would say, very healthy partnership with my parents in terms of their relationship to what I do. I never had them being like, "Come on, smile for us, honey. You can do this." It was never a Mama Rose experience.
It's like, Mom, get out of the way. They're filming right now. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So Connor, the one thing that I need to know, as a lifelong MST3K fan, I can only imagine the joy of getting this job. Once it settles, how do you approach becoming Tom Servo?
Yeah, because
there is when you look at him in puppet form, when you see him just sitting on the table alone in a puppet, it's a weird thing. I feel like I hear the voice, he's sort of there. His essence is within the puppet. Yeah. So
he's in the back of your head now.
In the back of my head, he's just kind of waiting. He's waiting to come out. And the way that he looks at Crow, and the way that he reacts to Joel and to Gypsy, who we renamed GPC for the tour. The way that he sort of interacts with them, it's just in the way that he also moves. And we've developed a new way to move him around on this particular stage production. And so, I pick him up and I go, hi, hello, hi, ha-ha, and he's there. I found him.
Do you feel a certain sort of pressure, though? Hi, Connor. Do you feel a certain sort of pressure, though, to, mimic the original Tom Servo, or is it, your iteration of Tom Servo?
I would say it's my iteration of Tom Servo, while keeping him keeping the same person emotionally, but having the voice a little different. I can't sing like Kevin Murphy, but I could see where he was as what he was doing as an emotional guy, as an emotional 14-year-old. And take the intensity that he had as that emotional 14-year-old in a robot form, and then translate it over into my voice. Yeah. And that way it's true to Tom's essence without necessarily doing a full recreation of what Kevin was able to do.
Yeah.
Or Baron, or Elvis, for that matter.
Hey, and I'm kind of curious because, so this is supposed to be Joel's farewell tour. And for one thing, I'm wondering if this is this like the Rolling Stones, where the farewell tour is every 5 years. But also, Joel's kind of an iceberg to me. I feel like you see about 10% of what's really going on with him, and he's got a lot under the surface. What's it like working with him?
Oh, he's always working on things. He's got his mind in 20 different places, and he's got 20 different plans that he's been working and developing. But this is his last time being on stage with Mystery Science Theater. It is an actual final thing. He might do special appearances at some point. That's going to be totally up to him. But as of being a main cast member on stage with all the robots, it's going to be his final form.
Wow.
His final form. His last time doing it. He hasn't even. This is actually his final form. He's achieving his final form. He's over 9,000. And
it's okay, Connor.
Peak Riftum. But you're absolutely right about him having like so much happening beneath the surface. He's always when we all live on a bus together, and when we're all in the living area of the bus, he's got his notebook and he's writing things down, and he's making graphs, and he's like, he's got like four, like within that specific notebook, he's got 4 different things that he's writing, 4 different projects that he's working on, and he'll tell you if he wants to, but if he doesn't, and they're still in development, he's very protective of it.
So with that in mind, how much of the show is actually scripted?
Oh, 98%.
Really?
Oh boy.
Oh yes.
Okay.
So we've had, along with Joel, there were a team of 5 other writers that have been working on this project. Let's see, after it was announced, they took about half a year to write it, including the scripts for the sketches and the riffs that were going into the movie. And then when the cast was brought on board, we were given the opportunity, the golden opportunity, to also write some of our own riffs, which was complete insanity and probably going to be one of the highlights of, well, definitely the highlight of my career.
Well,
sure.
Yeah. That's a lot of pressure too. You might think you have something really a great gag, and you got to wonder, man, you're doing this live on stage. How are people gonna?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And there are some I can't tell you, the best feeling of the world is writing a joke and letting it land, and the worst feeling of the world is being so confident in a joke and then saying it to just silence, to absolute.
Yeah. Brody knows exactly how you feel, Connor. There you go.
Yeah. You can hear the breeze outside the theater.
Yeah. That's the worst. You're like, no, that was funny. Laugh.
Yeah. What do you get? Yeah. Hey, so, Connor, what does this look like on stage? Because we know what the show looks like, but doing it live, it's going to be a whole different animal. So, do we see your silhouettes, or I guess we see.
Ooh,
yeah.
That has actually been changed for this tour.
Okay.
We are actually now, when it comes to the riffing segments, the robots and Joel are in a desk that's in front of the screen, tilted so that it looks like that all 3 of us are looking up at the screen while we're riffing the movie.
Yeah.
The new screen that we're watching is bigger and raised, and due to the how the tech process worked, we realized that it was not only easier to do it outside of the screen, but that also people were really reacting to us live being in front of them, and being able to see Joel live reacting to the film and the robots reacting to the film in person was a huge idea bulb that popped into everybody's heads.
Yeah.
But outside of the riffing segments, we're all the puppeteers are dressed completely in black, and he wanted to do this Boon Raku type of puppetry where you can see just the puppets and the puppeteers are completely in black, like totally the way that it's lit, you can't see us at all, and so it looks like the puppets are moving on their own.
I think I like that, man.
Yeah. Just sitting we're not confined to being behind the desk the whole time.
Oh, that's awesome, man!
Like,
we cannot
Tom
wait.
Gets to fly around, and Crow gets to walk and pogo stick, and the new GPC puppet that we have gets to snake around the whole stage. It really is. It really is something incredible.
Well, this is awesome, Connor. It's the farewell tour for Joel. We can't, I've got my tickets. As I said, I think there's a handful of tickets left, people. So you need to go to orpheum-memphis.com. The Orpheum's a beautiful theater. I don't know if you've ever made it through Memphis, Connor, but you're gonna have a good time. You're about a block from Beale Street, so you'll get out. You have a little barbecue, have some fun. But Connor, we can't wait, man. So we're really looking forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I love the Orpheum. I've performed there a couple of times with other shows, and the audience is just always just so amazing.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to bring our little experiment to the town.
Oh yeah, awesome. So hey, Connor, great talking to you, man. Save your voice, stay in good shape, because like I said, we want you in peak form when you get here next week. So.
Oh, I'll be doing vocal push-ups the whole time.
There we go. All right, thanks. It's great talking to Connor McGriffin. All right, sir. No, I was gonna say live long and prosper. That's stupid. What's the sign off? Quick, we just killed the dead air, right? Okay. Bye, Connor.
Bye.
The Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is turning 10 and celebrating in a big way. We're starting Friday, November 15th, back in East Memphis at Memphis Marriott East. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention 2019, November 15th through 17th. Check out the stars, Janelle Stevens from Black Panther and Luke Cage. Our Friday night concert, headlined by Kaza, cosplay contests, live cartoons, comic book artists, authors, and one-of-a-kind collectibles you can't find anywhere in the galaxy. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, November 15th through 17th at Memphis Marriott East. Get your 3-day passes or single-day tickets now at MCFC.com.
You might not find their picture in the dictionary, but they're the true definition of geek. Geek Tank Radio is on.
So news came out this week about a new movie called Finding Jack.
Just Jack.
It's a story. Is it about that Robin Williams movie?
Hold on. It's a story of the dogs that were part of the American forces in Vietnam were just released. They weren't brought home. They weren't given to people. They were just released. They let them go.
Like let out into the woods of Vietnam.
Yes.
They let those dogs out, baby.
So, but this is the story of
those dogs got it.
This movie is the story of an American soldier and his relationship with a yellow lab. So it's like Old Yeller in Vietnam.
I'm following along.
Now,
it all sounds super great.
Right, so there's but this guy has a best friend who is going to be played by James Dean. Now, no, we're not talking about the adult film star. We are talking about dead, idol James Dean.
Rebel Without a Cause icon James Dean.
Right. Who's got a little...
Whose car was haunted?
Who's been dead for 40 years?
Yeah,
Something like that.
He pulled up Paul Walker before Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Sorry
the
if that
original
sounds
Paul Walker.
Sorry if that sounds morbid.
That's only mildly offensive.
Woo! I'm going back to the bunker.
I'm all right. I apologize to any offense that I gave out, but
No, I mean, it's true.
People drive People drive wild. We lose way too many celebrities to stupid things.
Right. And it's whatever.
It's what
Fair
happened.
point.
Now, this brings up the question of just because we can, does that mean we should?
Science has gone too far.
What? Now here's...
I love how this is the intro leading into Has Science Gone Too Far?
Now, if anybody who listens to Geek Tank Radio on the regular and listens to the Professor Gilbreth segments knows that science has come a long way.
Yeah.
And according to Joe, science went too far years ago. So
apparently last season was Allie and Andy's breaking point, but
yeah,
not mine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, how can you be afraid of light up Band-Aids that do things for you?
Because we don't live in a Star Trek world.
It's so cool.
It's amazing.
Give me 3 of them.
I don't understand how the millennials are the ones having issues with that.
I don't know.
But
anyway.
either way, we're getting off topic.
Sort of.
So I'm going to ask our resident bunker fiend here. I know he's actually the bunker warden, Wayne Camp, who's here for the CineMasoCast. What are your thoughts on using CGI and real 3D models to replace people in movies with dead actors?
Personally, I don't have a problem with it, but there needs to be a reason.
Okay.
I can't see, if I've got a script, I'm not writing in there, I want James Dean to play this part.
Right.
Somebody somewhere, some suit somewhere behind a desk went, we've got the technology to bring back James Dean. Let's use it.
We have the technology.
Right.
Okay.
And there's no reason for that part to be played by James Dean.
So if this was, say, a docudrama about James Dean's life.
Right.
and they were using CGI to make the actor who is in the standing role
Yes.
look like James Dean.
Perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
I have no problem with that at all.
All right, I'll go.
Okay,
along.
I can get behind that because I mean this was their life, so
Right.
you know
They should be able to play it.
Yeah, right. Okay, I get you with that.
Okay. What you're getting at, though, is essentially deep faking anybody you want into any movie, anytime,
Exactly,
anywhere.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't like that.
And
That
yeah,
is-
I don't like that either.
It's
Okay, all right.
awful.
No,
that is an
I
awful
think that
thing.
they wrote a like kind of okay script, but it was a little weak, and they were like, you know what could really turn this around if we resurrected a
Yeah.
dead man. To
That's-
play the main
that's
character."
exactly
happened.
what it's
Like,
gonna be.
they,
That is
went, you know
probably
what's
true.
going to generate heat for this movie? Let's stir up the pot a little bit and bring back a dead actor.
Yeah.
So
All right.
okay,
but then in that same situation, why are you choosing James Dean? The people who give a damn about James Dean, they're dead too.
all right. Well, okay, but here's
Or
here's
not
the thing.
going to watch movies at modern day theaters.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. You're trying to stir up feelings from the past. Okay. Well, let's go back last year, 2 years ago, when we were all ready to buy tickets to a reunion tour of Michael Jackson.
Who's we? Because I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was totally
no,
in this.
no. The thing about it is while this
We as a collective whole in America.
the royal we. Now this, and it's not just America. It was worldwide.
Oh, it was worldwide. Yeah. it was
Yeah.
a
Now
worldwide
the
tour.
thing is that these same people that especially the celebrities you see talking about this is horrible. This is mostly actors and actresses saying that this is horrible. When Tupac's hologram was at Coachella, they thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, we had Tupac and all these
Tupac
holograms.
would never play Coachella.
Never.
Hold on, wait. I feel like there is actually a difference here.
How?
No,
Because
there's not.
wait.
Don't get to experience things just because you have money and can. You missed out on it. You
I
didn't
think-
get to go to concerts when
No,
those people were alive.
I think
You don't
Wayne
get to go to
nailed it on the
now.
head. I'm all for this. I'm all
Yeah.
for this deep fake thing. If it was a documentary about James Dean, let's see James Dean.
I mean, even if somebody wrote a crappy sequel to Casablanca, put Humphrey Bogart in it. That's fine.
Hold
totally in
on,
this.
wait. Time out. I feel like there's a difference between seeing the hologram of a musician and having an actor essentially deep faked into a movie, because the difference to me is that the hologram of Michael Jackson or Tupac or whatever you're looking at, that's essentially a performance that you're just watching in a different medium outside of, like, you could see the same on YouTube. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We're a podcast.
But you can see it on YouTube. But having their face, that actor's face or whatever, superimposed over another actor or a body double or whatever, and then having them perform new stuff, that's completely different. And it's disrespectful to the dead. Two, it is disrespectful to up-and-coming artists and actors who could do possibly a better job
So you mean
than
to tell
the dead
me,
guy.
So you mean to tell me that putting Tupac in an arena or in a place like Coachella that he would never perform at is not disrespecting him?
No, I don't like that. I don't like any of it.
No,
I
we're
don't think
talking
anyone
we're
should be
talking
held
This is what I'm saying.
I looked at Allie, my bad.
It would be like showing a video of
And acting isn't performance?
But it's not.
That's a performance art.
No, I know,
it's
but I'm
not,
saying-
because what they have done with most of these holograms, this is not footage found from an old concert. This is a mocapped suit that later is used to develop a hologram, doing things that this actor has or this musician has never done. A lot of times, performing new material that was never performed on stage.
I mean, there's talk about this happening with Elvis. That you could go to Graceland and watch an Elvis show, like in a performance from Elvis,
with unreleased
money
material
grabbing
that
and
he
gross.
never that he never performed.
yeah. Then that's not. See, I thought the holograms were just like, here's old footage that we put into a new medium.
Nope.
Okay, nope, that's messed up too. Because again, like I
a lot
said,
of those holograms actually interact with the people on stage.
That's super
okay,
gross.
so like I said, at least for the hologram thing, it is horribly and blatantly disrespectful to the deceased. And as far as the actors thing, like being put into films, it's maddeningly disrespectful to actors who have been acting at their craft for 20, 30 plus years and who can't get given jobs, and yet dead people are getting jobs in major motion pictures. That's terrible.
Bad news for you. Those dead people don't own their name and likeness.
Right.
Just be okay.
Their name, likeness, and all of their stuff that they had ever
But is
made
that
them
not
famous.
like a bigger problem?
Like,
no,
yeah, the
no,
whole-
they're
I don't like that.
their companies own them.
Well, let's talk about James Dean. Since he's the one who brought this whole thing to the forefront right now. His likeness rights and everything belong to his estate. His family and those people who operate that trust own those likeness rights. The director and casting agent of this have contacted them. They have given full permission. So, I mean, they have given over the likeness rights. It's the same as using somebody. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's the same as using, Cary Grant to dance with, Paula Abdul in a Coca-Cola commercial for Christmas. Happened 20 years ago. Cary Grant might have been a Pepsi drinker.
I don't like it because who is to say that these people aren't going to make him say stuff that he wouldn't have said, and then the family's going to go back and be like, well, gosh diddly dang, we sure did give you the rights, but now you're making James Dean do things that James Dean would not have done.
No. Like they could say, we gave you the rights, but now you're making James Dean, the deceased, do stuff that James Dean, the adult performer, would do. We don't like that.
Right, but all right, so you're seeing this from this angle, but at the same time, if you were negotiating these rights, if you have half a brain, you get final say. You get final cut and decision, which I wouldn't give away. It's like if Brody died tomorrow and somehow I ended up with his rights, those contracts do exist. Yeah. And I told Wayne, you can use him for a CineMasoCast video.
I'm not
and then
giving
Wayne was
any
like,
of y'all
I'm gonna put him down in the basement, just whip him senseless. And then
I'm making Brody do all kinds of salacious things.
The thing is, I'm gonna make sure in that contract that I get final say on whether or not Wayne can release said footage.
Yeah, I mean, but that's wherein lies the rub here, is that these, companies.
Yeah. Well, it's not even necessarily a company. It's like he was saying, James Dean's estate is owned by his family.
Right.
Basically, what's happening there is the family's going, you know what? We could really use some money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's use the likeness of our deceased relative to make
grab.
cash.
It's gross.
That is horribly gross.
But it's the world.
It doesn't matter if it's the world or not. It should not be allowed.
A commodity.
If there's one thing that I think that anybody on the planet should be able to agree upon, it is that we should have respect for those who have passed on.
But they don't own that. You have a commodity.
You should not be able to own a person.
It just so happens to be a person.
Yeah, that's not a commodity. I don't like that at all.
It's literally the ownership of a person.
So what I do love about this is that the two people who are arguing this are the same two people who will argue, once you're deceased, that body's just a shell.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Can you not sell the pieces of your body?
As someone who knows,
you can give them up to science, but I also perfectly am okay with people who agree that they don't want to do that for religious purposes. But that's your body, then have it.
As someone who knows how to use their indoor voice,
not us.
Shut up, Wayne.
There comes a point where you have to take the morality out of it. If you're bringing back a deceased person, actor, actress, singer, whatever, and having them do things that, whether they would have actually done them or not, to me is immaterial. It's all about money. I mean, that's all it is. Like Andy says, there's plenty of actors and actresses and musicians out there that deserve jobs.
Right.
But it's all about the money.
Wait,
that's
I'm
completely
going to put this in your wheelhouse, okay? Could you imagine going to, say, like a WWE wrestling thing, right?
Right.
Watching Andre the Giant get into the ring one more time?
They would have all of my money.
All of it, right?
All of it.
I don't know how much, what my cap would be. If I could see the quote-unquote Legends Tour, right? Where I'm seeing...
you go out and they've got Freddie Mercury back with Queen.
No, Freddie Mercury. And then 2 seconds later, up walks, John Lennon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then up walks Elvis Presley. You couldn't keep me out of that arena. I would be glued to my seat waiting for the next performer to step up on stage. The same thing goes for on screen. We have this technology to put these people on screen again.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch one of their old movies. Just go watch an old James Dean movie. They exist.
The same
go
things
watch
that we can
old
quote.
recordings. Go.
I'll tell you. Okay. That being said, you know why I didn't go see Lion King? I could quote 90% of the original.
Yeah.
But
and
you know what?
The rest of it was new Beyonce stuff you didn't care about.
I didn't care. I didn't care anything about the new stuff. I was like, you didn't do it as good as the old stuff. That's the same argument that Elton John had with the music. He was like, it was great before. Why don't we just keep the old stuff? It's the same thing. Why recreate? Why re-poop an old turd?
But you're people that I idolize who are dead that I could not imagine supporting if they made a hologram version of it. I would love to get to watch Alexander McQueen present one of his old collections that he personally designed. I would.
And
give
now
an
we have
arm
the
and a leg.
technology to do that.
I would never.
But it's a lie.
Would never.
It's literally. It's nothing but a lie.
One, it's not even him, and two, it's disrespectful to him and his fashion house, and three, like I could not imagine doing that. And I know, you know what? I honestly think he would probably enjoy it because he was all about a show. But like I wouldn't be able to do it. Wouldn't be able to do it because it's not him. It's a lie. It's just me lying to myself and spending thousands of dollars to lie to myself for a 10-minute experience that doesn't matter.
Never mind. I was going to say, what do you think the adult industry is? It's all a lie.
It's a lie.
That's not a plumber.
Well, I mean, most of entertainment is a lie.
I'm not.
There's not even a pizza in that box.
I'm not trying to
No, but there's
dish on things.
perfectly alive designers I could go watch.
I was gonna say I'm not trying to dish on anything that you love, but all of fashion is a lie.
Yeah,
it's all a show.
The industry
all of entertainment is a lie.
That's not true. Wrestling's real.
Are we even here?
I mean,
I wish I wasn't.
We're the Matrix.
It goes back to the whole thing. Like Brody brings up wrestling. I hear it every day. It's just so fake. Look, Fresh Prince did not move to Bel Air. Somebody wrote that. Okay.
Mary Poppins can't really float down on an umbrella.
Right.
No, believe me, I have met many a wrestler, and they are way more athletic than some athletes I've met.
And let's just go ahead and be honest. Even your most cheesy podunk indie wrestler is at least 50% better than your Hollywood caliber actor.
Here's my thing. I think that it's whatever. I don't like it. I won't go see that movie, but it's fine. That's my personal thing.
Yeah.
But we're not going to stop here. Like, that's the thing, is it's going to be like performances and spend thousands of dollars to get to see this. And then it's like spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to have this person at your birthday party. And then suddenly, like, down the road, because we don't live in a Star Trek world where everything gets used for good, we're going to have like a hologram president or a hologram something or other. Like, it's going to get gross and weird.
Andre the Giant could be at your birthday party, Wayne.
Oh, that'd be great.
I mean,
dope.
I hate to say this, but Allie just brought something up, and I mean, honestly, I'd rather have an AI the hologram president
than what we currently have.
That's for sure.
Better, but like it's controlled by someone else. Like
that was the easy joke.
All bad. It's
no,
bad.
It's not a joke. I'm being serious.
You know what? I'm all for this. I really am. We have the technology.
Okay,
why not use it?
Because here's the thing: art has to be able to grow. As in.
Tell that to
the
comics gators who are trying to quash something evolving.
Ooh. That's very good because he knows my opinion about comics right now. But art has to be able to actually grow and expand. It has to be able to be inspired by what came before it. If we continue to hold on to what came before by using modern technology to just keep it in place, to go see holograms of Michael Jackson or Tupac or whatever, or to use superimposed images of James Dean in a movie, we don't have the opportunity to see new artists who have been inspired by those things.
I think that's where you're hanging up because we're not recreating that. What we're doing is we're reinstituting it. We're taking that mold and we have redone it and put it out something new. So we have taken that old piece of art, okay, put it and remolded it into something new. That's exactly what we've done.
I don't like it.
That's not how that works.
But that's exactly what's happening here.
Isn't that how it works? Aren't there thousands of musicians out there that just take other people's work and turn it into something else?
You had me, at the cusp until this point, because the truth is, and Alan can tell you straight up, we've been retreading the same for decades upon decades.
We woken the giant.
Cyborg got out of the chair to make a statement.
You've awoken me.
I figured I could drop mine since Andy already dropped his.
Okay. I've thought about this for many, many years when Gene Kelly was dancing with Paula Abdul.
I don't need your fact-checking historian.
But suddenly, that was Gene Kelly's performance.
Right.
There have been other movies where somebody has had to ask Bruce Lee a question, and there has been a nebulous Asian actor in the background trying to sound like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, that's
there has been there's, but the thing is, I'm going to look at this as artistic integrity, because whatever we do beyond here, and we just did a Star Wars movie where we actually had to have some dead actors do some new material.
Yeah.
The fact that actor, who is long gone, was merely reprising a role and adding a few lines of dialogue that would have been more within the wheelhouse, that was fantastic. It filled in a gap, but it did open that door. My problem as an actor, as a writer, it's not going to be me. It's not, if we're going to resurrect Gene Kelly and we're going to put him back out to work dancing, that's not Gene Kelly dancing, unless we're just, as Brandon said, just retreading the same dance. I mean, how many times can we show the same movie with different people out there bouncing around with him? Mm-hmm. But at least it was his performance. This with James Dean is not James Dean. It's not his performance. It's his face. Now, I'm going to go to a movie that said the face of. And there was an actor who redid himself to look just like
Face Off.
There's another one where we had actors pretending to be each other.
Face Off 2?
And
Helena Bonham Carter in Harry Potter doing Emma Watson being her.
But
I'll do you one better. Joseph Gordon-Levitt having actual implants put into his face to look like young Bruce Willis.
So,
Looper.
The entire Tron legacy.
Yep. All right, that's gotcha. Wayne wins.
So
that was still Jeff Bridges doing Jeff Bridges. He just looked like a younger Jeff Bridges.
Oh wait,
actually, Jeff Bridges only did about 25% of Jeff Bridges.
Do we have a problem with the de-aging of actors and stuff? Because Will Smith acted alongside himself
in Gemini. Maybe?
In Gemini.
But Will Smith is still alive and can make that decision for himself.
But his estate could do the same thing.
De-age him?
De-age him? Put him in any way he wants to be.
Well, I'm going to draw the line at.
I think a lot of actors now are going to put it in their states before they die that they don't want this.
You can make
it look like him.
Now. You can make it sound like him, but at the end of the day,
it
is not James Dean.
It's
not
the artist form. The thing formerly known as James Dean.
It is at the end of the day.
Brody, I thought we were supposed to be arguing for something.
I am arguing for this.
Don't say the thing.
I do not.
I want this.
I agree with your point, Alan, but that doesn't solve the argument here, because some would say it's not James Dean, so it shouldn't be James Dean, and the other people would say, well, it's not James Dean, so why does it matter?
I don't think it's fair, because how is anyone from James Dean's era supposed to put in there what they want and don't want done with their bodies when this wasn't even probably a thought in their mind that one day they could get hologrammed into a movie?
But they signed away their name and likeness, so I mean they have no say.
But they didn't know.
Family might have your head frozen so they can bring you back as a Futurama character later.
Yeah, Disney. Why Frozen was made?
Well, guys, welcome to some questions.
So Laurence Olivier was in Sky Captain. That was like 15 years ago.
Mm.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not opposed to this. This to me...
Well, it's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, whether we like it or not, it's going to happen.
You signed your name and likeness and everything away.
What I'm praying...
You sold your soul to the devil, okay? And guess what? The devil is reaping his benefit now.
I don't know. I guess we can just throw away rest in peace, because no one's going to be resting in peace, because it's going to bring them all back from the dead.
I hate to tell you this, but modern society, at least for the last 10 years... They threw away rest in peace years ago. It's rest in power, rest in paradise. Rest in peace does not exist anymore.
Well, Elvis made more money dead than he ever did alive.
Exactly, and that's what I think you're seeing as these estates, and they're going, whoa, we can cash grab while they're dead. And look at Prince.
My prayer is
Prince is
let's
releasing
treat
new music
them
all the time
with respect.
Granted, he recorded it like 20 years ago, and now we're hearing it. But I think, Allie, you brought up a good point. Is that most modern actors and actresses and musicians and stuff like that will actually look at the bottom line and that final line of "we own your name and likeness and all iterations thereof," and go stricken from that contract. You might actually see that.
I think a lot of them are gonna. Cause I mean, I'm sure some of them aren't gonna care, but I think some people will genuinely not want this for their future.
7, 6, 5,
I want it.
4.
Well,
Give it to me. Give me more.
I hate it.
Geek Tank Radio energized by
Dark Oak Press and Media, an indie publisher and media provider offering everything from Alice in Memphis to mystery to young adult and everything in between. Get the latest at darkoakpress.com.
More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank. If you can nerd out to it, they're talking about it. This is Geek Tank Radio.
10 years ago, when we were creating the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, I had this idea, and I was very proud of it. I said, you know what? Conventions would be a great place to host field trips, like make them educational but really fun, too. Basically, I wanted to create a field trip that I would have wanted to go on when I was younger. And I'm like, we're surrounded by filmmakers and authors and comic book artists and people that know about robots and all this great stuff, so why not make a field trip? Well, the teachers actually thought it was a great idea, and so we created Geek 101, and every year that's been really one of the centerpieces of the convention. And so now that we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary, I really wanted to do something special, and luckily our friends at Graceland stepped up. They had a great time with us last year. We were in the sound stage, and so we've got our friend Christian Ross here. You're the PR specialist from Elvis Presley Enterprises, or is it what is
Enterprises?
EPE? Okay. And you run, well, among other things, we're going to be over at the Graceland Exhibition Center, which this thing is brand spanking new. I mean, it is, you can still smell the paint almost. So, but hey, so Christian, we have our vendors, we have our artists, we have our robots and all this other stuff that we're bringing, but you guys are going to be featuring, you've got 2 exhibits that we're also going to get to participate in, and I was wondering if you could tell us about those.
Yeah, so Joe, the Graceland Exhibition Center, like you mentioned, brand new, 80,000 square feet. You walk in there and people are just kind of blown away at how massive that space is. We have 4 different exhibit halls in there. Earlier this year, we opened it up. We had a National Geographic exhibit. We had some motorcycles in there, and we also had a really cool Ollie exhibit. A lot of people really enjoyed that. We actually had a heavy bag in there, some gloves. So
well, they're interactive, right?
Yeah, I got to go in there and try to see if you can hit the Ollie shuffle, which a lot of people struggle to do.
Fail.
Wait. The Ollie shuffle?
The Ollie shuffle.
Yeah, no.
You're supposed to mimic it, or
yeah,
is it like
well,
one of those
you
dance
try.
machine things?
No, so like they had it projected on the screen, and then they actually had like the markers for the feet right there
where you had to step.
Yeah, and I actually boxed and fought for a few years, and even I would get in there and just like try.
Unless you were a professional dancer, there's no way you're mimicking that man. No, he was not a boxer. He was a dancer that could hit.
He was,
that's probably true. Yeah.
He was definitely a showman, and it was fun to see people like try their hands at that. Especially like we'd come in there with cameras, and everybody was like, "All right, I can do it, and nah, fail, definitely.
Cannot.
But no, yeah. So those 3 exhibits were really cool, and now we swapped those out. Expedition Dinosaur and
So
Journey
excited.
to Space just opened up, and those are 2 things that are going to be here through the early part of 2020. Really cool. I mean, like, who doesn't like space? And
oh yeah,
of course. Dinosaurs. I mean, I grew up watching.
My 2 favorite things:
Yeah.
space and dinosaurs.
Allie's volunteering now, Christian, because she didn't want to help me with Geek 101 till she found out about what was going on, and she's like,
I'm
"Can
a
I
big
be
fan
in
of
charge
these.
now?" Can I?
My question about the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with the dinosaurs. How hands-on do you get with the dinosaurs? Because I mean, like you said, every exhibit very hands-on. With Ali, you had the big old bag, you had the Ali shuffle and everything going on. But how does like a fossil dig? Like how hands-on? do you
Yeah,
get?
so in the dinos exhibit, we actually have 2 dig sites. So full of brushes and a little pit. You can go in there and you clean things off. You know, like kind of like Alan Grant in the first Jurassic Park, and you're finding like a giant fossil of a dinosaur in there. Also, we have like
we don't have to stick our hand in like Tyrannosaurus or poop, do we?
No T-Rex.
I would do it.
So
I would
it's
do
okay.
it.
Yeah.
No T-Rex poop.
I
But
see my job now is me corralling the two of you.
Yeah.
All right.
no,
I found a bone. I found a bone.
probably one of the coolest things about this exhibit is the fact that the dinosaurs in there, we have 11 different dinosaurs, and some of them are animatronic.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of the times, when there's nothing in there, you're just kind of the first person going through the exhibit, super quiet. Then all of a sudden you round a corner and you just hear a roar. Like I was in there with our security team, and they were just like, it's kind of crazy, like and creepy when you're in here shutting things down at night. Because you walk around the corner, there's a giant Albertosaurus, the cousin to the T-Rex they found up in Canada. Like you walk around the corner, the tail starts to wag. Like you don't notice that, but then all of a sudden, head starts moving, it roars, and then like the weird thing.
You look at that dinosaur and go, you in Memphis, right? Like you can't be doing that kind of stuff.
But then he looks back at you and winks. So, yeah.
Hey, bro.
He's like, hey, bro. So it's like, all right, hey.
What do you need? You need a dinosaur looking at you going, we good. We good. All right.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, now space. Okay, so taking this then to space, I mean, are we touching moon rocks or what are we doing?
So we actually do have an actual meteorite in there. But
superpowers. Here I go. Superpowers. I'm getting superpowers, guys.
I wish it was Fantastic Four style for me. But you kind of go through there. We actually have some pieces of spacesuits that were designed for Neil Armstrong for some of the first Apollo missions. Some different things that kind of teach you about not only why space is cool and how someday we could all potentially be living there, but also how space is dangerous and it could kill you if you weren't safe.
Yeah, we learn that every week here, thanks to Alan.
But no,
Brody, you don't open the window.
Oh,
yeah.
You do not
I just wanted
open
some
the
fresh
window.
air.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's just like all of the things that astronauts have to go through when they're up there for weeks or months at a time, trying to survive, trying to maintain themselves. One of the really cool.
This is how we poop in a bag.
There you go, bro. Well, they do have a bathroom exhibit.
We do have a replica of one of the toilets from the space station. So if you were ever curious about how that works, you definitely can kind of learn about that too.
No one admits it, but everybody is curious about how that works.
Hey, and just to clarify, if you're one of the students that's coming, you're not allowed to actually use that.
It's not an actual bathroom.
Good thing I'm not a student.
Yeah. And Allie looks so disappointed.
And if you were wondering how they use the restroom in space, toilets have little vacuums in it, so things aren't floating back up at you, and you're also anchored to the seat.
Jeez.
But no,
TMI. Yeah, there you go.
On top of those things, probably the big thing, the focal point of the space exhibit is like we have the replica of the Destiny Space Lab, and while we can't replicate zero gravity, the actual lab itself rotates. So while you're in there, you feel like you're moving, and it warns you as you get started. You may get a little bit of motion sickness just because everything is kind of dark in there. You hear the different sounds, and it's kind of weird. If it's your first time going in, it's probably still a little weird and queasy if it's your 30th time in there.
That because I went to Huntsville and they had an exhibit like that to show you that you got to have good balance, or you've got to have a strong inner ear or something, Alan. But like this one, you walk in and then they shut the doors and this whole thing rotates around you. It's pretty cool.
So exciting.
But
Allie looks like a raccoon with a brand new garbage can.
Now,
when I was a little kid, they're like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Archaeologist, astronaut. Those are the two things.
I feel like that was everybody's childhood dream. So.
Well, because I wanted to live out my Stargate dreams, and I wanted to go dig up aliens and the pyramids.
Now
dinosaurs.
Now, Allie, I'm going to make you work that day too. You're not just playing. Okay. Hey, but Christian, one of the things they had that was honestly, I didn't know this. You put your hand in this glove, and then you reach in. And it's got these 3 rocks, and it says, pick up the rocks. And you're like, okay, what's so hard about that? But they inflate the glove, And because I guess it mimics space pressure or something. That was hard.
I went in there the first time as they were installing the exhibit. I was like, this is easy. And they were like, wait. No, the gloves aren't inflated, so you're not actually working with the pressurized gloves. And it really does change things. You don't really have that same range of motion. So I would I don't know how it fares as an astronaut.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and how do they swing golf clubs and everything? But if you're ever wondering when you watch that footage of the astronauts why they look so clumsy, well, that's why these suits are squeezing, putting all sorts of weird pressure on them. So.
Yeah, they're wearing pressurized sumo suits. That's basically it.
It's amazing they did anything. So yeah, that's why it took them so long to get off to make that first step for mankind and all that. But no, this is great.
I can't feel the damn ladder. Shut up.
Yeah, Kristen, we've never, for Geek 101, we've never had this opportunity. I mean, the teachers are emailing me every day. They're so excited about this. So, but anybody can check it out. So we always have a lot of stuff going on at Graceland. Whether you're a huge Elvis fan or you're just kind of looking for something to do, the Graceland Exhibition Center. The one unique thing about that is you don't actually have to come out to tour Graceland to do that. You can get these tickets separate of that. So this is an entire experience independent of Elvis. Just something really fun for the kids, for the family to do. We've been excited about the amount of students that have been coming out to Graceland and checking out the exhibition center, and we're really happy that you guys are coming out and celebrating Geek 101 with us again. I've also talked to a few teachers that I know in the school system, and they mentioned that they were coming out next Friday, and all the excitement in their classroom. So I feel like this is a really great thing. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to outdo ourselves next year, but I guess we'll deal with that when the time comes. But
it's okay. That's year 11. People won't care as much.
Yeah. Hey, Christian, did you have a website where people can check out all the exhibit stuff?
What's coming up next?
Yeah. Anybody that's interested in everything that we have going on can go to our website, www.graceland.com. Everything right there on the homepage. Whenever we have like these huge new announcements, you might see a really cool pop-up or a video. So, when we do announce the new exhibits for next year, who knows what those might be. We have our fingers crossed. We were hoping for out in LA, they have the horror museum. And we like it had been thrown around.
Wait a minute. You just woke somebody.
I know I'm not on this segment, but yeah,
your tail waves any harder, you're knocking stuff off the shelf.
I just vibrated through the wall in here.
No, we were joking about that. They went out and they were just kind of looking at things, and they just talked about like recreating like the sets from Beetlejuice.
I would lose my mind.
Joel Weinschenker, our managing partner for EPE, NECA, they do a lot of the giant replicas. So
Joel did some amazing things with us with MCFC last
year. So we love Joel. We know that with him, the possibilities could be endless. So we're really excited about what the future of the exhibition center could look like.
You know what I like about what you guys do over there? You get an idea and you actually do it. And you don't wait around. No, I mean, honestly, how many times have we heard about things in the city where it's like, we're going to do something. It's like 8 years later, they maybe get around it.
You should sit in on some of those meetings that we have. It's literally like, hey, we should do this. We could try this. You think this might work? And then, we'll throw out 30 ideas. And then of the 30, 17 of them will probably end up coming to life.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Which
high
in most
ratio,
cases,
man.
these kind of meetings, 100 things hit the table and maybe 2 get done.
Yeah, and last year when we were at Geek 101, this was literally a pile of dirt, and now it's this functioning, awesome space. I mean, you guys the grass doesn't grow under your feet over there at Graceland, man. That's awesome. So, well, Christian, we can't wait. We're going to be seeing you next week, and
we might have to bring him in next time. He's got new exciting exhibits for us too.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back, man. Consider yourself a friend of the show, and strap in for Geek 101, everybody.
The Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is turning 10 and celebrating in a big way. We're starting Friday, November 15th, back in East Memphis at Memphis Marriott East. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention 2019, November 15th through 17th. Check out the stars, Janelle Stevens from Black Panther and Luke Cage. Our Friday night concert, headlined by Kaza. cosplay contests, live cartoons, comic book artists, authors, and one-of-a-kind collectibles you can't find anywhere in the galaxy. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, November 15th through 17th at Memphis Marriott East. Get your 3-day passes or single-day tickets now at MCFC.com.
You might not find their picture in the dictionary, but they're the true definition of geek. Geek Tank Radio is on.
So every year at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, we have the amazing Mr. Robert, and Let's Make a Deal daycare style. And he was on a couple of weeks ago so that we could talk about this, and we kind of got cut off because people got into other conversations.
Well, people get excited.
People, as soon as you brought up that Cesar Romero autograph, that's all anybody wanted to talk about was Joker this, Joker that, Joker.
Yeah, Alan.
Not that there wasn't a great anecdote about, your granddaughter looking at you and going, so no Batman?
No Batman.
And then getting up and leaving.
Okay.
So we're going to actually stick to Let's Make a Deal and some of the other surprising, features that you get whenever you deal with a daycare-style production.
Right.
The daycare kids have been a part of the MCFC family for
6 years.
6 years? Is it
This is the sixth event.
Has it? Well, this is the sixth Let's Make a Deal.
Right.
But you've been part of the family for 8 years.
Yeah, I think it was 2012 or something he came in.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay.
It was our third year, our first year at the Hilton. And you took over the smallest room we have for all of hour and a half, 2 hours?
Standing room only for an hour and a half.
And they raised a buku of money that for St. Jude.
Right.
And ever since then, you guys have been family. But let's get into this year. 10th anniversary of MCFC, 8th anniversary of the daycare kids being a part of MCFC, and 6 years doing the event. What have you got on the table for us today?
Well, anyway, this is the amazing Mr. Robert with an update again on the Let's Make a Deal daycare style. With saying that, I am proud to say that 90% sure, unless people just can't do it, we are giving away the Cesar Romero autograph.
Wait, whoa.
Whoa.
90%?
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, remember, the other 10% is they may choose a song.
They may choose a song, and Mr. Robert gets to put it back in his collection.
Oh, that's true.
Let's see how the world goes.
No
but
guarantees.
with that said, a gentleman brought in a hardbound Detective Comics annual #1 from the UK. Almost immaculate condition.
Those are slightly oversized from what we are used to as far as our Batman.
Well, this would be like a regular hardbound magazine-sized book that has the 1960s Adam West Batmobile on the cover. And the price range could be very, very high to almost cannot find a listing for it. And that is going to be one of the main prizes that we will guarantee to give away. Zonk or no zonk, we'll keep going until somebody wins it.
Hey, Mr. Robert, because I'm strangely intrigued, because I used to get those things when I was a kid. Is this the one from the 70s, like where they're bigger than a normal book? Like they're kind of,
This would be from 69 to 72, but it's the same. No, this would be a regular 11 by 10.
But it's thicker, right?
Well, it's about 3/4 of an inch thick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Covers the old black and white newspaper serials that were eventually traded over into Detective Comics. But over in the UK, they took what they had and compiled them into one hardbound book. Now, in the collection that we will have on display, I have 8 different books, but only one duplicate. So we will be giving the duplicate away.
Question number 2. Can members of the Geek Tank Radio Squad win those prizes?
As long as you buy 100 tickets or more.
That'd go over really well. Yeah, the winner is...
If you buy 100 tickets or more, yeah, you can win, but I can promise you Squirt is not going to draw your name.
No, I don't think so.
She'll look at it and go, not him.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when it's Joe.
Yeah, that wouldn't play very well.
Well, Squirt, this is her big year, so she'll be in charge of drawing the tickets, and she also is, since this is her first big year, being 5 years old, she's going to get to walk out in the audience and just randomly select a person to come on stage and get to meet some certain people and get to go for a very large prize.
That's awesome.
And I will say, your granddaughter Squirt, she's not shy. She's a natural showman. I've seen her in operation. She goes into that crowd and she works the crowd. And
I thought Tadpole was good at it.
Yeah,
and she is. But Squirt's
they're both
like,
good. Yeah,
it's like she's watched and she's learned.
Oh, she's the what we call the big ham.
Does she know how cute she is? Because I feel like she does.
Let's don't get this started. We have a hairdresser lady right next door.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And she'll come in going, I got to go next door and get my hair done. Swing it back. And it'll remind you like Miss Piggy trying to grab Kermit's attention.
That makes me giggle because the last time I saw her in the store, she was napping.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, she comes in from school and goes, I'll see you in a minute. Goes, flops on the chair and snores.
Oh, gosh.
And then she gets up and says the magic words all kids say.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Can you go next door and get a cheeseburger?
Mm-hmm.
Well, sure. But other than that, I will let you know that the excitement between the two of them for doing this show is astronomical.
Oh, yeah.
Last night, Hannah had her little princess costume on, telling us to bow down because we're not worthy.
Okay.
Right.
And then when they found out that their mom had to bring me to the radio show this morning, they seemed to throw a tantrum.
Well, because it wasn't fair.
Yeah, it ain't fair. They want to go ahead. Let's hurry up and get Comic-Con today, not next week.
Yeah.
So they are excited. We're all excited. We have special prizes. And like I said, I got a few surprise guests that will appear on stage with me on Sunday. And we're going to have a good show, hopefully raise enough money. And Maria Starr from CW30, come to find out, works for St. Jude's. So we're hoping maybe we can get her to make an appearance on the stage where we can hand her the money to take to St. Jude's.
That'd be cool. Brandon, tell us again when
this is going to take part at noon on November 17th at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention at the Memphis Marriott, or the Marriott Memphis East. I always get that confused.
I think it's a Memphis Marriott East.
Nope. Marriott comes first.
Yeah.
It's Marriott Memphis East.
They need a better name.
No.
I hate to say it. I mean, I love them to
there
death
goes
over
all
there,
the goodwill we had with the hotel. Thanks,
We're
Joe.
in that hotel over yonder.
How about the East Memphis Marriott? That sounds better.
Let's go ahead.
Let's go back to the daycare show.
Let's go back to the,
This is why nothing ever gets done.
No. Joe, shush.
Yeah.
Wayne, chloroform it.
Yeah.
Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you're not just going to be doing the show. You will also have your booth set up, and of course, that's a wonderland in and of itself.
We have a kind of a different. Last year, we had the giant TIE fighter and the X-wing chasing each other around in the tower. We're going to shorten the tower a little bit, and for all you Ghostbuster fans, we will have a life-size Slimer flying around the tower.
Flying?
Yes, sir.
That's quite an operation, sir.
Well, we was going to tie you up there, but we don't want anybody that screams like a little girl.
You know what's interesting about Mr. Robert, too? You get to his booth, and every year it's different. Like, he can't just do the same setup every year. There's always some new, I don't know what, new device or new...
Yeah. Well, do you schedule your meals to where you eat turkey sandwich every Tuesday?
Well, I know, but that's...
Well, I have to.
That's commitment, man. Not everybody does that.
Turkey dressing on Thursday, not on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, we've got some other things that's going to really surprise people from like the 70s. I have a sealed set of Thundar the Barbarian action figures on display that will be for sale.
Yeah, including a certain hard-to-find figure in that set.
Oh, there is a certain hard-to-find figure in that set, but we have it.
Uh-huh.
For you Star Wars fans, we will have the blue Snaggletooth. That's with an S, more than one, sitting on display. The action figures from the Ewok cartoons will be there. Battlestar Galactica, all the way back to Space 1999. It'll be there. Now, anything else y'all can think of, please send us a message and let me know before the event, and we'll go in the archives and dig it out and try to put it on display.
And tell them how they can get a hold of you.
And if you need us, you can go to Facebook under the Daycare Kids, Comic Toys, and Antiquities with a question mark, because the moment you come in there, you're questioning your age. So you can find us in West Memphis, Arkansas, at 710 Ingram Boulevard, home of the Adventures of Tadpole and Squirt. You can find us all there, right there on your Facebook.
Yeah. Hey, and one more thing, Mr. Robert. You know how when you go to the carnival or to the fair, and they have all these games and everything, and they don't want you to win? Yeah. It's like the opposite when you encounter Mr. Robert. He wants you to have these things. So
I don't want to take them back home. I have to inventory them again.
If you want one of a kind collectibles, you're a fool if you miss out his booth for one thing, or let's make a deal. I'm just saying, you're gonna win something. So.
Oh, most definitely going to win something, or I'll have to take it back home and listen to it. So.
Anyways, guys, don't make Mr. Robert have to cart all this stuff back home. Join us at MCFC November 15th through 17th. Visit the booth. Purchase everything he's got that you want, because not only will he make you a deal on Sunday at noon on our main stage in the Noble Ballroom, he'll probably make you a pretty good deal at that booth, too. Anyways, guys, when we get back, we're going to be joined by Allie Diggs as Wayne delves into the CineMasoCast experience.
We've talked about them.
We've played them.
And now we'll show you.
The all-new Twitch channel from Geek Tank Radio is here.
Go Ready Player Geek,
where we unpack and dive into single-player story-driven games, to fighters, to multiplayer shooters, to tabletop and card games, and everything in between.
And stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ready Player Geek.
Check us out now at twitch.tv/ReadyPlayerGeek.
Streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8 Central.
If you can nerd out to it, they're talking about it. This is Geek Tank Radio.
All right, guys, down in the bunker, it's crazy down there. I had to come up here just to get some sanity, even though Andy's yelling in my ear and Brody's yelling in my face and Allie's over here.
Yeah, how's that working out for you, Wayne?
I can't go anywhere to get any rest. I'm on edge.
Okay. Why are you on edge, dude?
Next weekend.
Oh.
MCFC. The CineMasoCast is doing a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we've told you to throttle it back, man. It's you need to get some sleep.
I know. Look, I got bloodshot eyes. Look.
Yeah.
all of you people listening, look at my eyes. All right.
Wayne, we want to get people excited about this.
This should not be as giggle-worthy as it is. But yes, people need to come out to the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention so they can see Wayne's bloodshot eyes.
Yeah. We always thrive on the suffering of our comrades.
Yeah.
I mean,
Suffer for my art,
we got
Wayne.
a lot of mileage out of his hip.
I mean, we broke Alan's hip, so, you know.
Well, don't break me. I don't have insurance.
Okay. Anyway.
So, yeah. Okay. Andy's dying.
You're
over
killing
here.
Andy in the background. Remember, he's got to edit this show after we all get to go home.
Oh, I don't care. It's not my show.
So the CineMasoCast is coming up, man, next week.
Yes, next weekend, the CineMasoCast in full effect at MCFC. We are doing panels. We are doing the midnight movies again. We are doing drinking and debauchery, and we're doing
pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, exactly. Joe will be in bed, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always hear the stories after.
So-
afterwards.
Let's see if I can bring this back around to actually something coherent.
I haven't had sleep. Leave me alone. They're crazy down there.
Starting off on Friday night.
Yes.
At, I believe, 6 o'clock? 7 o'clock.
I don't know. You told me the times, but I didn't write them down.
Man. All right, guys, get on Fanguru and check out the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention and the schedule.
Yes, the schedule is up.
The first thing you're going to get on Friday night is Meet the CineMasoCast.
Yes.
Where you're going to actually get to meet all of the CineMasoCast.
Everybody but one.
Everybody but Drew, right?
Everybody but Drew, and he's the one we need because he's the pretty one.
He is the pretty one. He has piercing blue eyes. It's amazing.
But we're not going to get him.
I'm a heterosexual cisgendered male, and even I will tell you, he damn pretty.
Yeah, Drew's very pretty. But unfortunately, he's not going to be there. But we are going to get David Graham, who lives in Portland, Oregon. He's coming all the way.
Really?
To be here.
Wow.
So you'll get to meet all of the CineMasoCast at that panel.
Except for Drew.
Is this a wise move, Brandon?
No, it's not, and I'll tell you why.
You know, usually you want to sell the...
No.
Okay.
All
right.
Here's the thing. That
I don't know if this is going to work the way you want it to.
Joe has never met the CineMasoCast.
He's only met a couple of you.
Man.
Here's the thing about it, guys. During their panel, Meet the CineMasoCast, you can ask them anything.
Right.
It's like a Reddit AMA.
Yes.
In live action.
Right. Anything.
And they will answer whatever questions you have. If you want to ask if Sarah Luca actually does eat people's legs,
yes.
The answer is yes. But you don't want to ask her that because she'll eat your leg.
Right.
But that's not all you guys are doing that night.
No. There's plenty more.
Now,
that's just the opening salvo.
Now, as part of the, and we're gonna leave them. We're not gonna tell them what the movie is, but as part of the MCFC sing along at midnight, you guys are gonna take over in fashion that only you guys can.
That's right.
Now, are you gonna dress up for this?
I wish I could, but since Joe doesn't give me a budget, I have to spend my money.
Nobody gets a budget.
Actually,
I don't give myself a budget.
That's on me, Wayne. Yeah. That's not Joe. I'm the one who doesn't give you a budget.
Yeah.
But we are definitely going to take over the sing-along after Greatest Showman, after End of the Apocalypse. There's going to be the best little whorehouse in Texas.
Really?
Yes. We're going to show it. We're going to show
that. I thought we're a family-friendly event here.
That movie is more wholesome than you think.
I never saw it.
That movie's more wholesome than The Greatest Showman is.
Oh, okay, fine. All right. Just checking.
I watched
You've never seen it
my
before?
standards here.
Yeah, I watched the Honest
never seen it
trailer.
before?
I never got past the
rough stuff.
You
never got past the title.
Oh,
No, you should definitely watch it.
Actually, before you see the movie, I'll tell you to see the play.
Okay.
Yeah, the
it's a
play
play,
is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The play is good. But yeah, you should. I mean, Dolly Parton,
Burt
Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's in that. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Wayne, but
Jim Neighbors.
The only thing you're going to have a problem with is there's maybe a second or two of
side boob.
Yeah,
Wow.
well,
But
no,
you-
there's full frontal. But you
Dolly
know,
Parton?
you've
Not
seen boobs before, Joe. You'll be
Well,
okay.
let's
Is
move
it
it
Dolly
along.
Parton?
My interest too, Brandon, is from because you're the marketing guy on this,
Right.
this enterprise. So it's like, your idea is to bring these guys in front of front of the public, and then sell them on the idea that hey, we have some fun things going on later.
Well, no.
I hope it works, man.
Right. So here's the thing. The point of having the Meet the CineMasoCast panel before the them taking over the sing along is that way you know exactly who you want to throw tomatoes at if you don't like the rest of the movies that'll play during the CineMasoCast experience.
Oh yeah, there's
your villain.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of crap coming after
So
that.
this starts off at midnight and goes to what, 10 a.m. Is that
10
what I got there?
a.m. 10 a.m.
10 a.m. So you know that's not all you guys are doing for me.
Right.
The next day, you have live panel versions of your syndicated articles now and then.
Right.
The next Geek thing.
Yep.
And then you guys are going to do your own version of movie fights
Yes.
later on Saturday evening.
Yes. Anybody who watches Screen Junkies on YouTube, we are huge fans of Screen Junkies, and they do a show called Movie Fights where they sit down and they get specific questions that they fight over. And it's going to be me, it's going to be David, and it's going to be Jeff, and there might be fisticuffs.
What's really great
Do we
about
get a
this?
fight with you?
Well, what's
No.
really great about
you
this,
get to
guys,
judge the fight.
Oh,
is
okay.
that in the panel beforehand, GTR presents Andy versus Allie, or
gonna
Allie
be
versus
good.
Andy. Last year we did Allie. We gave Allie a panel. Allie loves Star Wars, and she will fight you.
It was a good time.
Well, the thing was that was basically Allie yelling at the audience.
Right.
We're gonna give her Andy because Andy will yell back.
Yeah, the audience is too polite to. Yeah.
No, those dudes yelled back at us, and we were just like, "Good
but
job."
they don't matter. The awesome dynamic you get between Andy and Allie here on the show, you'll get to see it live and in person.
Andy, I'm sorry right now for whatever I'm gonna say to you because it's gonna be mean.
Yeah, wear a raincoat. To that panel, man.
wear a raincoat.
Jeez.
David, Jeff, I am not sorry.
Crying by the time I'm finished.
In your
I am not sorry
But then-
to David and Jeff because I am going to kick their asses.
Okay, but in a family-friendly way.
In a family-friendly way.
Because you're still in a family hour at that point.
Wait,
Can I be a
whatever.
ring girl?
I do have a question, Wayne, about that. You guys are the CineMasoCast. You
Right.
celebrate terrible movie. Well, are you
Right.
are you arguing which is the worst movie or which is the best? Because
Yes.
The best
it seems
worst
a little
movie.
backwards.
The
here.
question, see, Tannen is hosting, and she
great.
has chosen the questions.
Yeah.
So she knows how to trigger these boys.
Right.
Oh, cannot wait.
We have
Your wife has chosen the questions. This
right.
sounds like a fair compliment.
We have been given hints as to what the questions are But we don't know.
Lose as much as possible.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm winning. That's all
right.
there is to it.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the great thing. Tannen will make the questions, but they have a panel of celebrity judges.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
You didn't see the air quotes, guys. Celebrity.
But you didn't
I'm one
answer
of
my
them.
question. Is it for bad movies or is it for the movie that's worse?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know what the question is yet.
Right. It's movies in general.
Okay,
It could be
gotcha.
anything.
She could, she could give them a Home Alone scenario, and it's like which of horror villain would be the best suited to play the Kevin McAllister role.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And Wayne would talk about how Leatherface would protect his home to the very end.
Yeah.
Because
That's right.
Bubba's a hero.
That's what he does.
Sounds good.
But at 12:30 Sunday morning,
Mhm.
which is 30 minutes after Riverside Opera finishes their final installment, we get the CineMasoCast Experience Part 2, the sequel,
Right.
which is more horrible movies.
Right.
That runs again until 10 a.m. the next
10
morning.
a.m.
So I've got a question. for you,
Okay.
Wayne. Now, last year, due to technical difficulties, the midnight movies got canceled.
Right.
But you had pared back down to a night, just one night.
Right.
The year beforehand, there was 2 nights, and then there was a emergency room visit for you, or you were
when you don't sleep and you survive.
you were
on caffeine.
pulled out of the guest house and taken for to be checked on.
Right. Star Wars Holiday Special tried to kill me.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Which that's when it happened.
Those Ewoks
Now
never
here's
meant to hurt
here's my
anybody.
question for you.
Uh-huh.
Have you taken precautions to make sure that you've got someone else to monitor things so you can step away every once in a while?
Yes.
Because it sounds like your schedule is full all weekend.
I really thought you were going to ask him if he was taking precautions to make sure he doesn't have to go back to the hospital, but really it's just to make sure the movies are still going.
No. The reason being is Wayne would not leave his post at that point.
Right.
When he should have.
He has a sense of duty.
I'm going to shoo him away with a broom.
He has a sense of duty that most of the rest of us are like
Get
going,
out of here.
nah.
Go take a nap.
Now, with all that being said, if you're not a fan of the CineMasoCast, you should keep
Get
an eye
out.
out. Stop it, Wayne. Keep an eye out for the MCFC Underground.
Right.
These are not scheduled events. These are roaming pop-ups. You never know where in the hotel they may happen.
Yeah.
We've heard things like a resurrection of the Piranha Room. We've got ideas such as, I don't remember what the rest of them are.
There's a lot of ones that are, we're going to call them meetup and spontaneous things.
Yeah,
we might have a random rave.
Spontaneous.
Somebody may ambush you with trivia and prizes. You never know what's going on.
Pew, pew, pew.
Basically, we want every part of the hotel to have some action going on in it. Yeah.
We want everybody, and we want everybody who's there to experience something unique.
Yeah, a fun. It's a party.
Unique for Memphis.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not happening elsewhere, but there's a lot of things that are that have been bandied around. Don't worry, we won't let anybody spray you with paint. Maybe silly string.
Okay.
The bottom line is the MCFC doesn't stop at 7:00.
No,
okay?
it does not.
No,
it keeps going. It's going the whole time.
From the moment the doors open at 3:30 on Friday afternoon until around 4 on Sunday, there will be something going on for you.
Like I said, Joe goes to bed at 7.
Yeah,
then we can have fun.
If you see a small girl with a shaved head, please make sure I'm drinking water.
Yeah.
Allie will run on caffeine for most of the night, and we need to make sure she stays, hydrated and
I like my
and
kidneys
pure.
where they are.
Brandon, how do people find out more about this great action going on at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention?
The CineMasoCast.com.
Okay, first of all,
That is an option.
Yes, for a full listing of the movies that will be shown during the CineMasoCast Experience and the CineMasoCast Experience Part 2, the sequel, go to thecinemasocast.com. If you want to check out any of the articles that have led to the panels for the next Geek thing and then and now, those are by David Graham and Jeff Harris, respectively.
The CineMasoCast.com.
The CineMasoCast.com has all those. If you want to enjoy Wayne's voice and his dulcet tones, check out Geek Tank Radio at 1019kissfm.com. check our page there. You may have to go back a ways, but there are CineMasoCast episodes up.
Yeah.
And, they talk about movies and annoy me.
We used to do that.
A lot. But if you want to know about what's going on for the Memphis Comic and Fantasy on the rest of our schedule, Fan Guru. Download the Fan Guru app, search for Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. Our entire schedule and listing of guests is on there. Of course, that takes place on November 15th through 17th at the Marriott Memphis East. I know the name confuses you, Joe, but it's the same place. Yeah. For those of you local to Memphis, it is right there at the Poplar exit off 240. You can't miss it. It's the one that's between the bridges.
Yeah.
Oh, and for anybody wanting to know what's going on with the MCFC Underground, keep an eye out for our Facebook page. I don't know if it'll still populate to our Twitter account, but we're going to poke Allie and see if she'll make sure that those things go on the Instagram so you know where it'll happen, when it happens.
The Instas and the Twitters. Got you covered.
Yep. Awesome. Anyways, guys, when we get back, we're going to talk about all the horrible Apple shows that I watched.
We've talked about them.
We've played them.
And now we'll show you.
The all-new Twitch channel from Geek Tank Radio is here.
Go Ready Player Geek.
Where we unpack and dive into single-player story-driven games, to fighters, to multiplayer shooters, to tabletop and card games, and everything in between.
And stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ready Player Geek.
Check us out now at twitch.tv/ReadyPlayerGeek.
Streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8 Central.
That euphoric feeling when you found just the right binge? Let the Geek Patrol be your stream dealer as they help you find your NetFix.
Okay, guys. After their very light marketing campaign where you saw these things everywhere, and then all of a sudden they disappeared just before the launch of Apple TV on November 1st, we saw trailers for Dickinson, The Morning Show, and For All Mankind.
We still get,
I get Instagram ads.
Yeah, I still get Instagram ads.
Well, yeah, but nobody pays attention to Instagram ads unless it's a Kardashian.
I'm just scrolling. Sometimes I actually double tap on them. I'm like, oh no, that's not my friend. It's an ad.
I didn't mean to do that.
All right, after people were saying that the launch was a soft launch, it may be considered a failure, blah, blah, blah. I figured I would watch one episode of each of those 4 shows.
Okay.
I didn't check out the new reboot of Ghost Rider, which is not Ghost Rider, the Flaming Skull guy, but Ghost Rider, which we used to watch on PBS.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
That was an awesome show.
But I've heard that the first 2 episodes of that is actually really good and super kid friendly if you want to show your kids, the cult of Apple.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna start with C.
Oh, the
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, yeah.
It's a sci-fi post-apocalyptic.
We've all lost our sight.
Mankind has lost the ability to see.
See, like
that one
the
looks
ocean.
very interesting.
Yeah, it was just like fake Aquaman.
For years they've built fixed their societies where they can operate without being able to see anything until 2 twin children are born with the ability of sight. I did not make it through the first episode. It's very pretty. It's very gritty, but I couldn't get into it. I tried really hard, and then we get to a certain scene. I may try and watch. I've got, I think they're on the 4th episode's dropped now.
Yeah.
I may try and, try it out again.
Well, as most Jason Momoa shows go, you have to give it a little time.
Well, as with most Jason Momoa shows, I've given it a little time and realized the only thing good about the show is that Jason Momoa can act. He can. I've seen it. He's pretty, so a lot of people like that.
He is gorgeous.
He is. I mean, he's just a fun-loving dude in the real world, so you want to support his stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But the plot is so contrived and just
poorly written.
I've seen it all before.
Yeah.
And by episode 4 or 5, I've given up on those shows as well.
Yeah.
Now, the next show I checked out was The Morning Show. Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon.
I am curious about
Steve
that
Carell. It tries a little hard to be Aaron Sorkin's Newsroom, but different. And I will tell you this: I have never liked Witherspoon more. I am definitely going to keep watching this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
more modern Reese Witherspoon is like real dope.
Huh?
She's a cool person.
Well, it's like I think when you think about Reese Witherspoon, you think Sweet Home Alabama, stuff. No, she's hardcore in this. She's.
Isn't she in Big Little Lies?
No, I think of her in Legally Blonde.
Yeah. She's really good. Very talented.
So I'm definitely going to keep up with that. For All Mankind, which I know it's getting a lot of bad reviews, but if you check anybody who's reviewing it, poorly, you'll get into a point where they start talking about historical inaccuracies. Guys, this is a alternate vision.
There is no historical part
the
of it.
Russians beat us to the moon in this movie. There is no historical accuracy.
Yeah. Now you're not giving spoilers here, are you?
No. This all happens in the first 10 minutes of the episode.
And in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
I like Wayne's like, yep.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out why all the women go instead.
Well, no, I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Oh, okay.
Right now, they're still Apollo 11 is just about to launch. They're still going. They're gonna surpass what the Russians have done, even though all the newspapers right now say Red Moon. They're not very happy about it.
Yeah.
But Joel Kinnaman from The Killing and the horrible reboot of RoboCop and Suicide Squad.
That got a reboot?
We'll talk about that.
Well, that says something, doesn't it?
Where he had the all-black suit.
You missed that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good thing you missed it. It was not good. He's, he plays one of the astronauts, the one that you're mainly focusing on. And early on, I mean, this is still like within not even the first quarter of the show. He gives a comment about how NASA doesn't take risks.
Oh,
it's very close to home.
He makes this comment to a reporter. They've been drinking at the bar. He gives us, and so of course he's in the doghouse.
Yeah.
But if you like things like Hidden Figures, and really anything that deals with the behind the scenes of NASA, there's a lot of stuff in Mission Control. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to keep going with this one too.
Okay.
Now the last one I watched was Dickinson.
Oh, It seems like modern speech.
Haley Steinfeld, Ella, you know her from Bumblebee and musical things.
Right.
And what is it, Edge of 17?
Mm-hmm.
And Ella Hunt, who you know from Anna and the Apocalypse.
Right.
Jane Krakowski is in this as her mom, as Emily's mom. I will say that this show had me hooked within the first 5 minutes. And
it's modern speech, but Emily Dickinson's.
What was supposed to be, I'm going to give one episode a try. I made it through 4 episodes of Dickinson last night.
Wow,
jeez.
So, and the only reason I stopped was because I had to come here.
Oh wow.
So I'm really.
Excuse us.
I really want to finish that. Wiz Khalifa plays Death.
Yes,
and he's awesome.
Apparently, Wiz Khalifa is like a really good actor.
He is. I mean, I already liked his music, but I was not expecting him to. I mean, he's pretty dope.
That's my Pittsburgh band. Yeah. Black and Yellow.
So, from what I've seen, the only thing that Apple TV has offered that I haven't gotten into is C.
Which is the one that they were like clubbing us over the head with.
I can't get into the thing that turned me off on this show.
Okay.
Why? Is it a spoiler?
No. It's
dirty.
It's dirty.
Oh.
It's downright vulgar.
Okay.
You won't let us be dirty, Joe.
I can't. I can be dirty on this show. I ain't going to be that dirty.
Yikes.
Okay.
Big yikes.
Yeah.
Also, I have a question.
That's massive dirty.
If nobody can see, how did they know these newborns have sight?
Yeah,
Well,
I wondered about that in the trailer too.
Yeah.
But you guys watched something awesome.
No, we did.
Netflix.
Yeah, we did, baby.
And I blame Allie.
I did. I watched it first. I was so excited. I've been waiting for this movie to come out for some time.
Yeah.
I'd seen a trailer, I think, a long time ago on Netflix when they first started doing the whole press tour for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so good. We watched The King with Robert Pattinson and Timothy
Chalamet.
The love of my life. So good.
Which, by the way, I totally like. I was watching it and I was like, "Is that Timothy Chalamet?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And like,
so good and everything.
oh, that's Robert Pattinson, huh?
My favorite part about Robert Pattinson in this movie is he looks like the Valtori in Twilight.
Yeah.
He's just got like the blonde hair and the all black because he's like a French prince. I don't know. Anyway, the movie was phenomenal.
Oh, he was such a douche. It was great.
So good.
So good. But no, what made this great, in my opinion, was that it almost could have been minus like 2 scenes, 3 scenes. Could be like on just network TV.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that out there. Even the final battle, quote unquote, final battle wasn't that gory.
No, none of the battle scenes. Most of the gore was like very special moments. Like,
yes,
all the battle scenes were like pretty chill.
Yeah, there were 2 decapitation scenes.
Love that.
Yeah,
that all happened.
And one of those was a minor, and you were like, "Wow, did they really need to take it that far?" But to the point of the French prince, who is kind of fueling the fire of the battle, aka Robert Pattinson being a douche. It made sense.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh, why did they do that? It was
And
just.
I also had to think like historically back then, it would have happened.
It would have happened.
For sure
It
would have
probably
done
happened way more than yeah. In fact, I think instead of sending the child back, walking back with his friend, well, what was left of his friend, I think a spike or a pike would have been involved.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
honestly. So no, I think the whole movie though wasn't that long. It didn't feel that long. It moved pretty quick, but it was like 2 hours.
Now, if I remember correctly, when you first were getting into this, Brody, you thought it was going to be a series.
Yeah, because
you've gotten so used to Netflix dropping a series for you, and you're like, I've got 8 hours to watch,
and I had 2, and I was like, so what's next?
It was good.
I like that it's
I
shorter.
thought the beginning was a little bit slow. I felt it was a very slow burn towards the beginning, and then got like really good at the end.
Yeah,
but it was good story building. Like, it was a good story, the world building, his like internal struggle of like not wanting to do this thing, but like
I want to be the king,
he,
but
like,
I don't want to be the
tried
king.
so hard to not be the king.
Right.
But it was good.
Like, little brother, don't do this because you're not going to be the
this would be
king.
bad. It's gonna be a
Now
bad
I'm the
time.
king. Too bad.
I'm the king. Look what you did.
Look what you made me do.
Everyone in this room is making me be the king.
now I got to go kill people. Oh, too bad for me.
I don't wanna. But talented actors across the board, beautiful, like cinematography, the music on point.
Unnecessary
Very
boobs.
impressed.
Unnecessary boobs. That was
Yeah.
the only scene that was unnecessary. I was like, really? Did we need this? I didn't need this.
No.
Thanks.
But it's good.
Now, Joe, you have something from a different angle.
Yeah, you guys are celebrating culture and history and whatever. I get what king was this? I don't even know what king it was. But,
This was Henry V.
I think.
okay,
something like that.
And he spawned Henry VIII, right? Or eventually, so whatever. So
Henry VIII.
Anyway,
I am.
Yeah, I went the other route. I went lowbrow, and but I haven't binged a show in a long time, man. Honestly, but Netflix has this show called Rust Valley Restorers.
Right.
And it's basically whoever made like the Pawn Stars show, it's the exact same kind of production value, the exact same cutaways. But this show is really cool. It's
Love that.
It's this guy in British Columbia, and he was a pretty successful contractor, and he spent all his money to buy 400 like basically junk car. You know, these are cars you can get for like $300, but he wants to restore them, and so. He's, I guess there's this big culture of restoration out there.
Yes.
For some reason, there's
for
like
sure.
all these guys. It's something about the climate. Like you can just have your car sitting out in the, whatever, and whatever. So, but it's not your typical thing because these guys are kind of clods. Like he's always, for one thing, he's always losing money.
This is what would happen if the Fix It Up show got a reality show.
Right. It's like he goes, we got to go to the swap meet. If we don't start generating some cash flow, we're going to be out of business. And instead of selling things, he comes home with buying more stuff. Or like they got to move an engine block and the thing weighs like, 900 pounds and they're not using the right dolly and it falls and it breaks and all this other. But it's funny, man. I like it. And you wind up really liking these guys a lot. But it's, I watched the whole thing, man. It was hilarious.
So is it just one season that's available right now?
Well, I don't want to give it away, but they at the end of the 7th episode or whatever, the last episode, you're going, oh my gosh, they have to have a second season. And it turns out I'm kind of behind on this, so they announced November 21st is the new season coming up.
Awesome.
So I don't even have to wait.
So when you're trying to relax and unwind after MCFC on the 15th through the 17th of November, you get something to binge in just a few days later.
Oh, it's great. And if you like old cars, like he's got the same taste in cars. Like he likes. I like those
muscle cars. Or
these
what?
are like he's a big fan of like the 1966 to 70 type of like Cutlasses and Malibus,
like the
and,
cars you like.
Yeah, he likes a lot of Dodges. I'm not a big Dodge guy, but they're these cars. I mean, he does good work, but they show you the as Alan would say how the sausage is made.
But what you're telling us basically is it's like modern day cartoons. They're heroes by accident.
Yeah, but it's just funny, man.
They accidentally accomplish their goals.
Yeah, you'll like it.
I didn't really want to be king, but if you're gonna make me be king,
I guess I'll be king. It's fine.
But you're rooting for these. They're good guys, but they're just meatheads too, man. So it's like, definitely check it out.
Now, Wayne, you're going to come at us from an actual nerd standpoint.
Yes. I've got some nerdy stuff to talk about. Since every episode of this season that I've been a part of has mentioned wrestling, I'm going to mention wrestling real quick.
Yes,
wrestling.
There's a new show called NWA Power.
Yes.
It's on YouTube. It is the resurrection of the NWA from Billy Corgan, and it is amazing.
The Billy Corgan?
Yeah, the Billy Corgan,
Billy
yes.
Corgan.
He
doesn't sing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, he doesn't sing.
In fact, the theme song is Dockin'.
Yes. And you never see his face. He is the owner of the National Wrestling Alliance, and they have a new show, and it is awesome. It's an hour of studio wrestling just like the old days. It's awesome.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's your wheelhouse, man.
Yeah, that's great. But
how can you be a part of it?
Come
on, we got to throw you in there somehow.
All right,
I'm old, Brody.
I'll talk to you about like where we need to contact.
Yeah.
GoFundMe petition. Let's do it.
I'm come on.
You can go out there. We can get Allie to be your valet.
Yeah.
Half the time she hits you instead of the other person.
Yeah. Old man Wayne.
Why?
He has no idea where it's coming from, you know?
Why am I always?
Because you're a
getting hit?
heel.
And he's,
I can't.
and he's like senile. Oh my gosh, we got your character all fleshed out already.
Oh no, he already has a character, and it's a great character.
Yeah, but that's just a quickie. Here's the story. Tannen and I subscribed to HBO Now, like millions of other people, to watch the final season of Game of Thrones.
I'm sorry.
Yes, we were disappointed. Should have been longer. You guys messed it all up.
Wait, it's our fault?
No,
Okay.
not you guys.
Oh, I was gonna say
those guys.
I was gonna say I'll
The
accept
royal use guys.
I'll accept the blame.
Use
Use
guys.
guys.
So when that was over, and like millions of other people, we were like, should we keep this? And I'm like, no. Watchmen is coming. We will keep this. I demand it. Because, as Brandon knows, I'm like the biggest Watchmen fan ever.
He's such a mark for Watchmen.
Yeah, and it's such a great show. You should watch that one too. But in the meantime, between Game of Thrones and Watchmen, we found a show on there called The Righteous Gemstones. This show is crazy. It's way out there. It was created by Danny McBride.
Oh, cool.
Which we love Danny McBride.
And he also stars in the show along with John Goodman, Adam Devine, and Edie Patterson as the Gemstone family.
How did this fly under the radar?
Well, it's on HBO.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love
and
that.
it's one of those we've got to fill time in between our big properties like Game of Thrones and Watchmen. And the Gemstones are evangelical Christians.
I thought this was going to be a movie.
No. It's a series. And they are one of those big church. Mega churches. We're on the internet. We're on TV. We make millions of dollars every Sunday. And the funny thing about it is it's not about. It treats Christianity, very respectfully. There's no.
That's a twist.
Yeah, there's no, funny business there. The funny business is the way this family behaves and the things that they get into. And it's absolutely the silliest thing I have seen in a long, long time. But don't stop at the first episode. The first episode, you get to the end and you go, I'm not watching this anymore.
This is crap.
I will be honest. I've watched 3 episodes and I've enjoyed it. But that first episode, especially when Adam Devine gets back to his house and you meet his house sitter / pet project, Keith, who is a former devil worshiper that he has converted and brought back to the light.
Yeah.
Is Keith played by...
He's not one of the workaholics now.
No, okay.
No.
But no, dude.
Blake
would have done great at this.
Yeah. It's so crazy and it's so silly. But yeah, you've got to go to episode 2. If you don't like it by the end of episode 2, then okay, I give it to you. But by the end of episode 2, I was hooked.
I'm for sure checking that out. I thought it was going to be a movie. I remember seeing a trailer for it and thinking it looked hilarious.
Yeah, I think I remember
But in my brain, I was
this.
like, this is a movie that will come out one day.
Yeah.
Did not realize it was a show.
I didn't think it was an HBO thing.
Yeah, it's on HBO now. Right now, they just ended the first season, so you can binge the whole thing.
Wait. Well, I mean, I can't say no to anything that has John Goodman in it.
No,
I know.
Yes.
John Goodman.
I mean, I'm watching The Connors
Yeah.
like religiously.
I know. He's so good.
Yeah, he plays the patriarch of the family, Eli Gemstone, and I mean you watch him and you go because Danny McBride, Adam Devine, and Eddie Patterson play his children, and there are scenes where he's just sitting there and his head's about to explode because these kids have done something stupid,
right?
And he's just rubbing his temple, and you're like, just kill them, just cut them off.
But as a good father, he doesn't.
He doesn't, and they all live on the same compound in these same great big extravagant houses. They have their own theme park. They have.
Good.
I mean, this is
It's
so fun.
Let me. The funniest part though of the first episode, just in my opinion, is the mass baptism. At the water park,
Right,
in the beginning,
and the two sons are
In
arguing
China.
over who can baptize more people.
Sounds like a youth camp I went to.
Yeah, and he's trying. He's trying to, and then someone turns on the wave pool.
And then someone turns on the wave pool. Yeah.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, no, it sounds
It's
really
really
good.
fun.
But they, I will say that from what I've seen, they treat the religion
Oh yeah.
with the respect
oh,
that it
yeah.
deserves.
Yeah.
They're not.
If anything, they glorify it.
They're not. They're not making fun of people's faith or anything like that.
No.
But they are showing you what happens when a
Prosperity gospel, man.
Right. But they're showing you what happens on an epic scale, and it's really a lot like what you would see in any other family. Well, not.
Yeah, it's just turned up to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some stuff to watch.
There you go.
Put it in the queue.
The Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is turning 10 and celebrating in a big way. We're starting Friday, November 15th, back in East Memphis at Memphis Marriott East. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention 2019, November 15th through 17th. Check out the stars, Janelle Stevens from Black Panther and Luke Cage. Our Friday night concert, headlined by Kaza, cosplay contests, live cartoons, comic book artists, authors, and one-of-a-kind collectibles you can't find anywhere in the galaxy. Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, November 15th through 17th at Memphis Marriott East. Get your 3-day passes or single-day tickets now at MCFC.com.
There's always those stories that defy labels. Thankfully, there's the GTR Random Roundup.
Okay, guys, it's that time of the season. We're gonna get a little random.
It's the most wonderful
time of the show. Yeah, it
Okay.
really is because I get to go home and go to bed after this.
Oh, there we go.
Anyway, guys, Harrington, Maine. I'm as far away from Florida as I can be and still be on the same coast. So, a Maine lobsterman hauled in an unusual catch 5 miles off. Randor was setting traps when he saw a young deer Monday morning. He says the deer had given up swimming and was being carried farther offshore by the current.
Poor thing.
So he and his crew hauled the 100-pound buck aboard. Now, they
Aw.
saved the deer.
Huh.
Having a wild animal in a confined space can be trouble, but Dorr told the Bangor Daily News that the deer was so tuckered out that he laid right down just like a pet.
You know what, Brandon? I bet that meat was nice and tender, and they probably. I know what Alan would have done with that.
Guy,
Joe.
dude.
Joe.
This is Maine.
Oh, gotcha.
We're
eat
trying to-
seafood there.
We're trying to tell a feel-good story about a dude saving a deer.
No.
Hearing a lot of surf and turf.
And Joe,
Now,
Joe wants to eat it.
The thing is they stopped fishing at that point and took a half hour to return to Harrington where the deer was set free. He said he'd seen deer, Doris says that he'd seen deer swimming before, but that this was different. And that if he and his crew hadn't intervened, the deer would have been a goner.
Yeah.
So,
It's Bambi's mom.
guys out there, in Harrington, Maine, in Bangor, if you can, you see Rendor anywhere, buy the man around, buy his crew
Oh,
around.
good for them, man. That's cool. He lost money doing that too. He was.
That was a real surf and turf situation in which they could have had surf and turf.
That's it. You and Joe, I mean, you got close to the same haircut now, but now I can't tell you apart.
I'm funny.
Bad jokes.
So Allie's doing the dad jokes now. All
right, well, maybe I'll appeal to him a little more.
Oh.
All right, let's go Dateline South Africa.
I know which story you're bringing.
Interesting.
All right.
Okay.
A volunteer photographer, his name is Dolph Volker, has been working out there taking pictures of the very large predatory animals that are on the center because this is called the cheetah experience.
There we go.
So he's
not to be confused with the cheater experience.
Right.
That's a different show entirely.
Which you can find at every club in Midtown.
Yes. Well, one of these trips, he is had a very busy day. Found a nice, comfortable tree and decided to lean back for a moment and take a rest, and accidentally fell asleep.
That is not a situation in which you want to be catching 40 winks.
Well,
not really, but
it's what happened when he opened his eyes.
Okay.
He was being cuddled.
Aww.
By Eden.
Huh?
By Eden.
Huh?
A full-grown cheetah.
I also like to snuggle with my
down
food
on
before I
him,
eat it.
had him cuddled up, arm over him.
You just say that. Eden walks up and is like, his looks, kind of cold.
He looked comfy.
If I fits, I sits. Like,
yeah.
Well, he had just eaten the deer, so he was full. So he just wanted a place to crash for a while. So, right.
That'd be an antelope, Joe.
Yeah.
So apparently, after this first event, there has been a budding relationship.
I was about to say, does Homeboy now have a pet cheetah?
I think Ida has a pet human.
Okay.
There is a hilarious video that goes along with this that shows what happens when he's out working at Cheetah Experience every time he sits down. Here comes Eden, and she begins to groom him and pet him.
And call him George.
She's like, wow, you dumb naked baby.
How you doing, George? Your hair looks so pretty today, George.
It's better than the option.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Wayne.
Go ahead, Wayne.
All right. Well, he just told the story of my life.
There you go.
She just walked up and cuddled up to you and go, you're mine now.
Pretty much, yeah.
She was like, you dumb naked baby.
I'm getting a shirt with that on it now. Dumb naked baby with an arrow. All right.
Yeah, but it's got to have like Allie's fat head on it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hold head on there.
All right. So we're getting toward lunchtime. And I want to remind everybody in this room and everyone who's listening that the Popeyes chicken sandwiches are back. What?
They're not paying you.
I don't care.
Go ahead.
These things are good.
Yeah.
They're delicious chicken sandwiches.
So they don't normally serve sandwiches?
No,
I don't eat
Popeyes.
there, so
Popeyes has never had a chicken sandwich until recently.
Okay.
But the thing is, they run out of them because supply and demand.
It's like the McRib. Gosh,
Yeah.
I just named two. We named two people.
Yeah. But the Popeyes chicken sandwiches are back. And because of the supply and demand, people are losing their minds. Okay. I have a news story here about a woman who wanted a chicken sandwich so bad that she rammed the drive-through line in her car just so she could get to the speaker first, completely destroying her Toyota and causing quite a bit of damage to the woman in the Mercedes,
Little big, yeah.
who was sitting there ordering who knows what, maybe her own chicken sandwich. Witnesses, this is on video. You can look it up on YouTube. Witnesses can be heard yelling, "Damn, you're blanking, blanking, blanking." Another man can be seen going up to her car and trying to get her to back up because maybe she took his spot.
Wow.
Look, I love me a chicken sandwich, but
I don't
damn.
have the money for that. It's a lot of damages.
Is this like the only restaurant in town or something where they're at? I mean,
Well,
my God.
I mean, every Popeyes.
The whole
is selling
thing
out.
is, Joe, when they decided to make this chicken sandwich, the first thing they did is they went on social media and they told Chick-fil-A that their sandwich was better.
Well, yeah, that was a throwdown. Right
Chick-fil-A starts firing back. Both companies make money.
Yeah.
Right.
But-
Because everybody loves a good social media war.
Right.
Look what happened when Wendy's got snarky.
Yeah.
Now, I've had both, and they're both pretty much the same to me. It's the same sandwich. Right.
Don't tell me something spicy if it ain't spicy, though.
Right. That's true. That's true.
All right.
But people, calm down.
Did she go home hungry, though? That's the thing. Did she get the sandwich?
I'm hoping she went to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, she probably didn't go home, Joe.
Yeah.
But come on, guys. Chicken sandwiches. Come on.
I'm sorry. When it comes down to it, I'm going to go with Chick-fil-A every day of the week except Sunday.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to churches.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Gosh, 2 dad jokes, and
I like it. I like that one.
Let it be known. I
But
didn't
still,
do that.
boo.
Okay.
I know, but still.
Shame.
Shame.
You're just mad that I'm going to churches and not, just taking a day off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm a one-trick pony, but this is what I gravitate
Is it
toward.
a
There's an
Florida
animal in a
man?
toilet.
Dateline, Florida. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Okay, you guys know how in Mississippi, one thing I learned is that they imported kudzu. You know what that is?
Yes.
Because they have a problem.
Anybody
with,
who lives in Memphis knows what kudzu is.
Yeah, they have this.
We don't have to
Well, if
import
you're
it.
not in Memphis,
No.
what it is there's a lot of erosion down by the rivers and places like that. So they brought in this plant that basically grows like a foot a day. I mean, and so it keeps the
And
land.
it's impossible to kill.
And then people learned
Like
later
Wayne.
that they didn't necessarily like kudzu taking over their whole farm and everything like that. So it's a cautionary tale of be careful what you bring into somewhere. Well, imagine you're on
Yeah,
your
I feel that way
kayak.
about MCFC.
Yeah. And suddenly it's raining monkeys. And you're on your kayak, right?
What?
Well, this guy got some great footage. He's at the Silver Springs State Park, and basically back like in the 1930s, they brought these Asian monkeys in as an attraction. Well, it's getting out of hand now. They're kind of taking over, and so there was some big fight with the 2 alpha monkeys. Is that what it's called, Alan? It was a territory. And these monkeys, the fallout, they were fleeing for their lives, and they were raining down into the water by this kayaker who alertly had his cell phone out. There's some great footage of this. But my question was, when did monkeys, I didn't know they could swim. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you...
It's the start of the Planet of the Apes.
So once again, 12 monkeys versus an alligator. I wanted to know who wins that battle. Monkeys. Alan,
Monkeys.
I suppose if it's underwater or whatever, but
I don't know if we're
okay. But these
if
are
we're
the
talking
kind
about
of
the movie 12 Monkeys, then that's a completely different kind of.
these are the kind of rogue things that were not these things were not meant to go together in nature. So I once again, Florida's just making more problems for themselves. I don't recommend kayaking in this particular river. You may be attacked by cascading monkeys, man. So
as long as there's no hippos, we're good.
All right. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
All right, is it my turn?
Time for you to close us out.
Close us out, man.
So I think this may be one of the best stories that I've heard all year. So a man in Kansas robbed a bank.
Smallville?
No. Robbed a bank of $2,924.
Okay.
And then went and sat in the lobby.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Waiting for the police to arrive. When they got there, he said, "I'm the guy you're looking for," and they took him to jail.
Oh, that's a heck of a random there, Andy.
Yeah.
He's
sounding deja vu-ish, but go ahead.
He recently was sentenced for his crime of robbing the bank. His purpose for robbing the bank was that he wanted to go to jail to get away from his wife.
The old rob the bank to get away from the wife.
So that's how you do it.
So, did this story call to you, Andy?
So in order to sentence him, the judge confined him to house arrest.
That's really beautiful. And I'm really glad that happened to him.
Once again, I'm going to utter the quote, does anybody else geek tank? Andy,
No.
We've heard about this. Wait, this is a copycat. Okay, Andy, because we had this story 3 years ago, and Brandon even said...
We had a story like this...
No, it was exactly like this. So this he started a movement.
No. In the original story, the guy went and sat out in his car and waited for the police to show up.
No, he sat in the lobby, he told it, he said, I don't... And I think they said, I want to be judged by a jury of peers who knows my wife, basically. But this guy did it. Beautiful. Okay, this is interesting.
So according to the FBI affidavit, because he went, when he robbed the bank, he wrote a note that said, give me money, and told the teller that he had a gun. And according to the FBI affidavit, he wrote the note at home in front of his wife and said, I would rather be in jail than at home.
Right.
And then immediately went to a bank and robbed it.
Yeah.
And then just waited for the cops to show up. I love this story. This guy.
He takes initiative.
There's true
Think of
justice.
all the money you'd have saved.
Well, there's true justice here in the fact that the judge went, you didn't want to be around your wife? Okay, go home.
No, you know what it is? These guys listen to our show, Brandon. Because Brandon's the guy that said the sentence should be house arrest. I remember specifically you saying that.
That judge is a jerk.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's
that
cruel
judge
and
is a
unusual
jerk.
punishment, isn't it? I mean, that's pretty funny. So, yeah.
Just leave.
I bet that judge was a woman.
Leave. Just leave
here we go.
the house.
Yeah.
That judge had to have been a woman.
Okay.
Just be a grown.
I'm going back to the bunker now. Good night.
There you go.
And leave
Brett,
the
you guys
house.
have been a little random for everybody.
Yeah, no, you can be random too, and random with us. You can actually join the tank. I'm gonna beat Joe to the punch and say, if you want to get in on the action, of course you can message us. We are at Geek Tank Radio on all social media platforms. You can also send us an email. We are geektankradio@gmail.com. And, of course, you can become a patroller by joining our Patreon. Yay! There's 3 levels of you becoming a Geek Patroller. There's obviously the high-level Geek Patroller. Then there's the middle tier and the lame tier.
There's the remote listener.
Remote listener, active listener, and remote listener. So, anyway, you can be our Patreon.
But you want to be a patroller.
Yeah, be a patroller because then you can get on the action. You can actually message us throughout the week and get in on what we're talking about throughout the week, and then preparing for the show.
Wow, that's an experience right there.
Pretty fun stuff.
And we are very much looking forward to hearing from you. We want you guys to talk to us and let us know everything that you think about the show. Do you love us? Do you hate us? What do you want us to cover? What do you want us to talk about?
And you can get a hold of Andy at 901.
Which, by the way, there's going to be some giveaways very, very soon. So if you want to get in on it, I highly recommend following us because you could be winning some really, really cool prizes.
Geek Tank swag for the holidays.
And we especially want to hear from our overseas listeners because apparently we're pretty big in Spain. And so okay. Yeah, bring it on, people. That's what we want to hear.
It's España, you swine.
See.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to go ahead and apologize to our listeners in Spain. I mean, I understand that you're on a U.S. military base, but these two, they're kind of idiots.
Yeah, so before we cause an international incident, we better bail, you guys.
For?
On
that note, Joe, let's wrap this up.
Your sacrifice allows us to do this.
We're going home. We're going home.
Yeah, we're out of here. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
Wayne Camp.
I'm Alan Gilbert.
I'm Allie Diggs.
I'm Andy.
I'm Brody.
And I'm Brandon, reminding you to check back with us next season when we'll be live, sorta, from the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention.
Geek Tank Radio. More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank.